Greetings, Bat family, and welcome back to Holy BatCast, brought to you by real fans for real movies. You can find us all over the damn internet on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Just search for Holy BatCast, you'll find us. And if you're a fan of the show, you want to support us, you can do that on Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/HolyBatCast. As always, no pressure. This is a no pressure sales situation, but just want you to know that we appreciate you guys who've already done it. It really does help. You don't even understand how much it helps us. So thank you, thank you, thank you. If you haven't done it, that's okay. We love you anyway, but big thank you to our patrons. Again, that's patreon.com/HolyBatCast. We are part of the Real Fans Podcast Network. You can check out those shows at rf4rm.com. And then finally, as always, I'm your Bat host, Andy DiGenova. You can find me on Instagram, Blue Sky, Letterboxd, Threads. Just search for my name, Andy DiGenova. It's a very special episode. This is a special episode, like, in so many ways. Number one, it's episode number 500. 500 episodes, madness. And so we are going to do something that's been on the to-do list for, I think, literally years at this point. But we thought it was a great topic to do because today is also Jamie's final episode. Now, I am using air quotes with final episode because I want to believe it's not final, but at least it's his final regular episode for a while until he misses us so badly he has to come back. And so, yeah, the topic is something that I think it was a listener request, but it was a good, I thought, overall conversation for the entire, Batman pantheon of films, and a good way for Jamie to have the last word on these things. And so we're going to talk about the best scene and worst scene from every live action Batman movie. And so joining me, I just said it's his last regular episode. It's very bittersweet, but I'm glad he's here. It's Jamie Drewley. Hey, Jamie, happy 500.
500 episodes of a single podcast. That's not even counting all the real fans we've done and all the other things that we've done behind the scenes with other shows and stuff. I mean, that's just mind-boggling.
It truly, truly is. It doesn't sound right, but here we are. Because again, we did the 200 episode celebration, and that doesn't feel that long ago, but yeah.
That just means you turn out too many podcasts. I think that's what it really means.
Until the last few months, that's true.
Well, cross-country moves have a tendency of putting a damper on your schedule. Somehow.
I know. And also two tiny humans that require much time and attention.
Oh, yeah, those things, they require all kinds of time and love and attention and all that.
They're worth it, and I love it, but they don't respect a podcast schedule. I'll tell you that much.
No, they do not. They are very disrespectful of anything you need to do outside of them. So
yep. Episode 500, your final episode. Do you have like a little senioritis? You're coming in, you're like, I don't give a crap anymore.
Well, so I forgot to put this on my calendar when we rescheduled it.
Oh.
So I left my computer at work.
Oh, dear.
I work on the other side of town from where I live. So I had to quit playing pickleball early today and drive to the other side of town and get my damn computer and bring it home, get it updated and everything else. But I just happened to stop by my favorite local brewery and got myself a nice barrel-aged 15% beer that is blacker than Brendan's soul.
Ooh.
So I'm going out in style with this one, boys.
Oh my God, that sounds potent. All right. Well, you mentioned him. He made the time. He's up at 5 a.m. out in Brisbane. It's Brendan Lowe. Brendan, thanks for being here for this momentous occasion.
Wouldn't miss it for the world.
I knew that if there's one thing you would show up to, it's Jamie's funeral.
That's correct. And look, I apologize in advance. I'm battling a bit of a sore throat at the moment, so I do sound a bit huskier than normal. But yeah, we'll get through it.
All right.
Well, you finally hit puberty. It was time.
Yeah, 2 kids later and my balls dropped. So
great. Well, we're all just doing great, aren't we? But no, it's good to have the three of us back together for episode 500. We have lots of fun stuff to chat about. So let's do it. Let's talk about the best scene and worst scene from every Batman movie. We did decide to keep this to theatrical live action Batman movies because even that is plenty. So yeah, we're leaving animation off to the side for the sake of this conversation. But what we did is we all made our lists of the best scene and worst scene from these Batman movies. And a big thank you to whoever recommended that at whatever time they recommended it, because I don't remember anymore. But I have my running list of show ideas and show topics, and this has been on there a while. And so yeah, whoever you are out there, I'm sure you go, it was me. How could you forget? It's because I'm terrible. I'm getting old. I'm so sorry. But thank you. I think it's a great idea, and it's going to be lots of fun.
And it was much freaking harder to do than I thought it would be too.
You know, it was.
Amen to that.
Yeah, it truly was. Like, it sounds easy because you don't have to watch anything, but then you go, wait, what is my favorite? I like 10 parts of that or whatever. And which scene doesn't work? Because I love that movie, and it's tougher than you think.
Yeah, and you oh yeah, I don't have to watch it. And I'm like, yeah, I've seen all these movies enough. I can just do this in my head. And then I started thinking about it, and it's like, no, I better watch this and make sure. And then next thing you know, I'm like 8 movies deep.
Oh, well, good for you.
Yeah. I mean, I know it really sucks to have to watch Batman movies. At least for my wife, it does, because I was like, hey, I have to do this. It's a podcast homework. So.
And you're like, and this is my last podcast homework, so you can't get mad.
Well, I didn't mention that part to her, just in case I want to do it later and use the same excuse.
Oh, perfect. Okay, great. And Brendan's been doing a bit of a rewatch since he's home with the baby.
Yeah, I started doing a bit of a Zack Snyder trilogy rewatch. I started watching Zack Snyder's Justice League last Saturday. I've watched the first
and it's
chapter.
Still going.
Still going. But I have to admit, that's not baby related. We've been renovating our backyard area. So when, once sort of the day starts, I've been out the back working my ass off. So it's been a hectic week.
Awesome. Well, I didn't do any rewatches, but I remember I've seen these a lot. You might say I've seen these Batman movies a lot. So we're going to go back. We're going to start back in 1966 with Batman the movie. We'll start with the best scene. Jamie, kick us off.
You know what? Since this is my last episode, I'm going to say we need to start with the worst. That way we go out on a positive
okay. You
note.
want to start worst? That's fine.
I do, because, it's always good to, bad news first, good news last, go out on a positive note. That's my preference for it. So.
All right, great. Last episode. It's your party, man. Just take over.
So there is a half-cocked romance going on in this movie between Batman and Miss Kitka / Catwoman / Selena. And it is, the whole movie's riddled with goofy stuff. Like, I say riddled, what's small and dangerous and sits in a tree, and it's a sparrow with a machine gun, that kind of crap that goes on in there. And that adds to the inherent charm of what you're dealing with in Batman 66. So a lot of that I just have to let slide, or, it makes me giggle for all the wrong reasons, what have you. But my worst part of the movie was at the end when Batman finds out that Kitka is actually Catwoman. And he just has this sad, heartbroken look on his face. I'm like, homie, you didn't even get through an entire date with this woman, and you're acting like your heart was just ripped from your body here. So I just felt like that was flimsy, and even the eye roll on that one couldn't produce anything positive out of it. So for me, the worst scene was the Kitka reveal at the end.
And the music from the date, like there's a refrain of that, like it plays over his stunned look again.
Yeah. Yep. And you guys know how I feel about the Bat-Cat relationship thing anyway. I think it's been so overplayed now, and this one just really is honestly kind of at the worst end of it, in my opinion.
That's funny. I want you to say the part again about, like, that is the charm of Batman 66. I want you to say that nice and loud for Eric Carter out there.
It is the charm. I mean,
I know.
We've all, well, I shouldn't say all. I can say for myself, and I know numerous other people. When I was a kid, 66 was playing in Syndicate, so I watched it when I was spending afternoons at my grandparents' house, and I didn't know the difference. To me, that was just what Batman was. And then I got, into my teen years, and I'm like, especially by the time 89 came out, it's like, oh, that was some hokey shit. Batman should be more like this. And, I kind of was like, poof, I don't even want anything to do with that anymore. But then by the time I was kind of, I don't know, probably in my mid 30s, I'm going to say, I'd start catching some here and there and maybe eye roll once in a while. But at the same time, I was like, you know what? This really isn't that bad. The gateway drug, if you will, for so many kids to have gotten into Batman at an early age. So it really, for me, was, loved it, didn't love it. And, back to loving or at least respecting where it was coming from at this point.
Yeah, I think most of us had that journey of like rejecting it because it was too silly, and then coming back around and go, actually, it's really charming and fun. I just wanted to throw shade at Eric because he hates it.
Well,
I thought you were going to say Michael Uslan.
Well, Eric and Michael Uslan are actually in a very, very private fraternity of where they every once a month they get on a Zoom call and bitch about Batman 66. That's the truth. Anyways, sorry, Brendan. Your worst scene from Batman the movie?
It's when Batman and Robin call the Admiral from the Batmobile about the sale of pre-atomic submarines.
Oh, nice.
Just like, I mean, I know it's 60, and 66 was actually one of the ones where I was like, I don't hate any scene in it. Like because the thing is constantly goofy, like, even the stuff that is eye rolling, I mean, that's the show,
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, this part, if you really apply some sort of logic to it, it's like this guy bought a pre-atomic submarine and just left a PO box address. Like, I'm sure even in the 60s, you would have had to provide more information to buy a secondhand car, let alone a submarine. Like,
I just got a text message from PN Gwyn saying you're full of shit, buddy.
And the PN Gwyn, like, it's like, come on, guys. Again,
I love the Mike Brady lecture that Batman gives to the Admiral. It's amazing. Are you telling me you would sell this? It's so funny.
Good day, Admiral. But yeah, like and they're playing that silly game. I don't know. Like it's not a bad scene, but if I'm forced to pick a scene, I've got to go with that one. But it's like Jamie was sort of saying before we recorded. Like some of these, I'm going to say the worst scene, but I really don't have a problem with them. There's a couple that I do, but this isn't one of them.
Yeah. What's funny is both of your worst scenes are scenes I find very funny.
And that's the thing. Like, it is funny. Yeah. Like, honestly, I was thinking of picking the bomb scene just because it's so frustrating to watch, but it's like, that's a classic. Like, I can't pick that. So,
right, yeah.
And that was the thing with me. It's like all these other things, like you're talking about the bomb scene or, even my favorite scene. There's so many things that are just like, they make me chuckle. And the scene that I picked, there's nothing funny about it. They literally try to play it straight to get some emotional uprise from Batman out of it. And it falls flat for me because there wasn't enough established there to make that payoff worthwhile.
Yeah. So what's funny is, Jamie, I thought that you and I were going to pick the same scene because I did not pick the reveal at the end, but I did choose the date between Bruce and Kitka. Because that scene isn't very funny. To me, it's not funny until Robin goes, "You're right. We shouldn't be watching this." That part makes me laugh. But the date itself, even as a little kid, I remember watching this on TV and on VHS, and just this scene being like, "Oh no, I got to watch him dance to that song." So yeah, when I was thinking about the movie as a whole, I was like, "Well, that scene isn't particularly funny. I get why it's there, but it's probably the one I look forward to the least."
That song has lived rent free in my head since 1989. By the way.
Without a doubt. Well, let's flip it. Best scene, Jamie.
For me, and there's several scenes in there that are funny. I love the bomb disposal scene. I love several of the scenes in this movie, like the helicopter crash. I just happened to spot this foam rubber convention out of the corner of my eye. I mean, that is so dumb, but it still makes me laugh every time. And my wife was watching it with me when that was going on, and I was like, watch this. You're not going to believe this." And she's like, "Are you serious? He really said that?" I was like, "Yeah." But for my money, the thing that stands out the most for me is the shark at the beginning. That has never, ever, ever ceased to make me laugh from the first time I watched it until watching it again last week. I mean, that scene for me is just utterly hysterical. Watching Batman just, haymaker this shark that's latched onto his leg, and then the bat repellent shark spray. I mean, holy crap, man. That scene is just freaking amazing.
The gut punches to the shark are pretty funny.
Excellent choice. Brendan, what about you?
Well, back to the submarine. And for me, it's the submarine fight at the end. As a kid watching the show, you kind of have waited the entire movie to get, you know, much to the chagrin of Michael Uslan, the power zap wham, you know, it finally comes in that climactic fight. And, you know, with some of my best scenes for a lot of these movies, I pick the ones that even as a kid, like, it's about, you know, you get that feeling in your stomach of like, here it comes, you know, you sort of lean forward on the chair a little bit. And as a kid watching this movie, it was that submarine fight, because it, you know, it gives you what you want from the episodes, you know, the powers up and wham and the big Batman fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, there are many historic parts of this movie. I love both of your choices. I almost chose the shark, Jamie. I was this close, but what I went with is one is a scene that's not as famous as like the shark or the bomb. Those two, I think, are the two big classics. But it's a scene that I just think is so much fun, and it delivers why this is a movie and not an episode of TV. And it's the first scene between the four villains in their hideout. So the United Underworld, their first meeting, Catwoman comes in as Kitka. She walks in and they're all arguing and at each other's throats and throwing insults. But it is so much fun to see these four villains interact, and they're giving each other crap. And so it starts with them at each other's throats. And then as it goes, they kind of go, no, we can't fight amongst ourselves, because how else are we going to take down Batman? So I love that layer anyway. And then just the interaction between the four actors, I think, is terrific. And so, yeah, I like, that's the one I thought of. It also has the moment where the Joker shocks both Penguin and Riddler. And so, yeah, I just thought that scene, I was like, man, that's just a blast.
I agree.
So now we're going to jump to 1989 and talk about Batman. So, worst scene first, Jamie.
So apparently I just have a problem with Batman's romance life, because truth be told, I couldn't really narrow it down to one specific scene. So here comes cheat number one. But the romances are just flimsy in these movies. But for me, the biggest annoyance I have with this film, and this literally goes all the way back to me seeing it opening night at midnight the very first time, and every time I've watched it since, every time Vicky screams, it just makes my hair stand straight up on end. I cannot stand it. Her delivery of those screams is so overdone. It's so unnecessary in a number of the scenes, and it's just agitating to me. So,
okay. That's not a scene, but okay.
I know. I said there were going to be cheats here, but truth be told, I really love that movie, and there's not a lot of scenes I would change. I would just tone a couple of these things down.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not done with this, by the way.
Oh, great. Brendan?
This is another one like 66. It's like, how do you pick a bad scene from this movie? It's so good. Again, sort of gun to my head having to pick one. I picked the Ratelli Joy Buzzer scene. But again, I don't dislike it. I don't have a problem with it. It's just, I remember watching this again very young as like a 5-6-year-old, and that part was just a bit gross. You know, and it's sort of the one thing that is stopping me so far from showing that movie to Henry. Is it's just like, I don't think he needs to see the charred corpse of like a burning skeleton. It's a little bit much maybe for younger audiences. Again, I don't have a problem with it, but if I'm forced to pick one, that's what I'm going with.
That's crazy, because that one was actually in contention for my favorite. But
same. But I agree with both of you in that I was like, I don't really have a worse scene, because I love this movie so much. So it was like the least good scene, or maybe the scene that I just am the least interested in. And Jamie, again, I thought we were going to be on the same page, and then you took a hard left right at the end of your explanation, because mine is Bruce and Vicky's date. So I swear these first two are the only two that are dates, but yeah, for whatever reason, Bruce and Kitka's date, and now Bruce and Vicky's date, just, it's fine, right? Their date is fine. It's kind of cute, but in this movie, it's probably what I'm least interested in.
Well, I just feel like Batman goes on one date with a woman, and all of a sudden he's trying to put a ring on it, man.
He does.
Alfred's trying to put a ring on it in this one.
It just goes to show that this cat has emotional damage, and he should not be in a relationship like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's always been dedicated. So it's just that he's not afraid of commitment. I mean, Selena Kyle says it in Batman Returns. Sickos never scare me. At least they're committed. All right, best scene, Jamie.
So my best scene is going to surprise nobody because I've talked about it over the years many times, but it's one of my favorite Batman moments on a screen ever, and that is the thieves counting out the loot on the rooftop and just slowly watching Batman descend behind them.
Mm-hmm.
And, just to carry through how he, kind of beats up on them and they're like, what are you? And you get that, I'm Batman. I want you to tell your friends about me. That whole thing is just so fantastic. I've been in love with that scene since day one. It has not changed. And I think it's one of the best Batman moments ever, ever, ever put on a screen. And I will always love it.
Yeah. All right. Brendan.
Mine is the Flugelheim Museum rescue and the ensuing car chase.
Okay.
I mean, again, as a kid, as soon as Vicky throws the water on the Joker's face, you're kind of like, oh, here we go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We get the first iconic crashing through the skylight. Get in the car, which one? Where does he get these wonderful toys? Everything's there, and it's such a damn good Batman scene. I love it so much, and it shows off the best Batmobile of all time. So,
yeah. Well, both of your choices are correct because this is one where I was like, I literally have like 10 options for my favorite scene. It's just there's so much good in this. What I did land on was exactly what you did, Brendan. From the moment that skylight breaks, it's just like, holy shit, we are in for it. And it's like dead center in the middle of the movie, and it's like this is when you really hit the gas, if you will, on the Batman summer movie funness of it all. So yeah, I almost picked what you just did, Jamie, but I did pick what Brendan is. But then I guess I will say, and this came up when we talked the anniversary of Batman '89. When was that? 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I'll go with, the punctuation to that sequence, which is the descent into mystery, which is the Batmobile racing through the woods and that music crescendos. And I swear, even now, 37 years later, every time that happens, it's like, my consciousness elevates because it's just magic.
The score is so good in that part.
It's a tremendous scene. The score is amazing.
Yep.
The car is beautiful. I mean, everything about that scene works. But I got to tell you, I'm stunned. Nobody picked the final scene with the bat signal.
That was also an option. Don't worry. I almost picked that too. So that's just, there's so many good options.
Yeah. I mean, again, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, you could have jumbled up like 15 scenes in this movie that I love, thrown them up in the air, and I could have picked one at random and been content. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, the reason I chose the one I did is because that, to me, in my head, feels the most like the Batman moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Completely. Awesome. It's funny talking about the best Batmobile ever. Yesterday I was arranging my office, putting a lot of my Batman stuff out, and I was like, oh, cool. There's my cool Batman '89 Batmobile, Hot Wheels. Oh, I'll put that on the shelf. Keep unpacking. Oh, look, it's another one of the Batman '89 Hot Wheels. Oh, I better put that off to the side. Keep unpacking. Oh, here's another Batman '89 Hot Wheels. I have so many of those because apparently anytime I see one, I'm like, yeah, I need that. And they're all
you can't have too many.
They're all slightly different in size, so they're not the same one. But yeah, I just can't help it because
the only Hot Wheels one I ever had was the one that had the yellow bat on top of the roof of the car.
I think that
was Corgi. I don't even think that was Hot Wheels.
Well, whatever, you know what I meant, like a Hot Wheels.
Because that's the original one. I've got that too.
Yeah, I'll send pictures after.
Awesome.
Anyway, let's jump to the sequel. Batman Returns, 1992, worst scene, Jamie.
I have a dead ass tie for the worst scene in this movie.
I don't know what one of them is.
Oh. Yeah, one of them's going to surprise nobody, and that's the freaking hangers, man. Come on, stop with that already.
Duh.
I need a redo special edition that takes that out and puts that freaking vault with the suit back in.
Jamie, I'm not ready to talk about bat hangers yet.
Aren't you?
Not till we get to best scene.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then dead ass tie with that is the rooftop fight with Catwoman where he punches her and she's like, I'm a woman. How could you? Oh, I'm so sorry. Please let me help you up. And then she kicks his ass. That is the most non-Batman moment in just about any Batman movie I've ever seen. I hate that scene so much. It pisses me off.
Okay. Great. Brendan, what about you?
The worst scene for me is the Merrill campaign launch with the Penguin.
Okay.
I just, the dialogue's overtly sexual.
And we know how much you hate things that are overtly sexual.
But I don't need him in a Batman movie. And the biting is it Rob, the character's name, biting his nose and stuff. It's just like, this is just Daniel Waters, being a bit masturbatory. That scene's never worked for me. Even as a kid, I'm like, why did he bite the guy's nose? Like, it didn't achieve anything. But not a fan of that scene at all.
All right. What I have for worst, and it's one of those where I have very mixed feelings because I kind of love them, but as far as the scene goes, I just think it's just a little too goofy within the context of the movie, and that's the Penguin Commandos. Like, I love the way they look. I love the toys. So, like, I do have a soft spot for them. But, like, when I was watching the movie, especially in 92, and even when we talked about it on this show, I'm always like, it's just a bit much with all the penguins running around with missiles on their backs.
That's called the leash was off of Burton, and he just went buck wild.
Yeah.
Which, all of us being Tim Burton fans, we know what that's like. And
you mean
sometimes it's for the best, and sometimes it's not. I get what you're saying.
You mean those Penguin Commandos, Andy, that I said I wasn't going to buy, that I didn't need in the McFarlane range, and now I look to my right, and there they are.
Damn right. Damn right. And that's just it. It's like when they made the McFarlane figures, I'm like, oh, hell yeah, Penguin Commandos. So, yeah, it's a worse scene with a really strong caveat of, like, I still kind of like them, even though it's goofy. All right, best scene, Jamie.
I mean, this one is pretty encompassing, but it's really what I love the most in the movie. And that's the initial scene where Batman shows up and fights the Red Triangle gang. And he's got the Batmobile, setting the dude on fire, and Selina's tasing dudes. And he has the conversation with, Gordon. He sticks the bomb down the guy's pants. I mean, there is just so much freaking awesome going on in that scene. And also it's another one of those things where Burton is just going full Burton, but he does it in an action sequence, which is pretty well done, in my opinion. I really enjoy this scene a lot. It's, a lot of times I'll have some of these movies that I've seen so many times kind of on as a screensaver while I'm doing housework or whatever. But when that scene's on, I tend to really pay attention because it's really my favorite thing about the movie.
Awesome. Excellent choice. Brendan?
Well, I'm going to have to correct you there a little bit, Jamie, because he doesn't put the bomb on the guy's pants until later in the movie, which is my scene.
Oh, all right.
Not so much. You're right.
Yeah, not so much the bomb on the pants, but just like the scene of Batman. And it is intercut with other stuff, like with Catwoman going through Shrek's department store and stuff. But Batman just being Batman and going through Gotham and taking out, the gangs as he comes across them, just like protecting the city. It starts off with the sword swallower and that scene, and like it's a bit stupid how the Chihuahua gets his batarang, but anyway, but just walking through Gotham and kicking ass and taking names and stuff, and the scene sort of culminates with the meeting of Catwoman and the meow and the explosion of Shrek's department store, and it's just a really cool Batman moment in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And, for all the stuff that this movie takes from people who detract from it, I maintain, and again, I love both movies, so I'm not, taking one thing away from another here. I think his Batman performance in Returns is better than it is in '89. That's me. I mean, just as a character portrayal, I think Batman is stronger in Returns.
I think I remember you saying that, actually. Yeah. Well, this is another one. I mean, you guys know I love this movie, so there were a lot of options on the table, and both of your options are awesome, especially for just like Batman-y goodness. But what I landed on is a Catwoman scene, and that is Selina's transformation in her apartment. Because the score in that scene is amazing. Is amazing. And it is a fearless performance by Michelle Pfeiffer. She gives it her all, and it is hypnotic to watch. And like, how many of us have been close to our breaking point? It's and like want to just freaking lose it for whatever reason. And so there's also something cathartic about watching this woman who's finally been pushed over the edge and she is done taking everybody's shit. She is so good in that sequence. And then to have it punctuated with that final shot of her in silhouette with Hell Here, just beautiful. So it's beautifully shot, it's beautifully acted, it's beautifully scored. I just think it is amazing.
Those poor soft toys.
Yeah.
What did they do to anyone?
So yeah, that's what I'm going with. All right, we're jumping forward again 3 years. 1995, Batman Forever. Worst scene, Jamie.
Here I go again. Apparently, I just have auditory problems with Batman movies because the thing that irks me the most about this movie is all the freaking yelling, especially by Edward Nygma. But if I had to choose a particular scene that drove me the craziest, it's when he kills the guy at the Wayne Tower.
Ed Begley Jr.
Yeah.
Is that no?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Ed Begley Jr. Yeah.
Ed Begley Jr. is his boss.
How did I never know that?
Yep. Because he wasn't driving an electric car.
He didn't have blonde hair, did he?
Yeah, I mean, ish. He had the mustache, but yeah, that's him.
Okay. Mustache threw me off. So yeah, I mean that sequence, I mean, there are so many scenes where he'd go so far beyond what is even remotely necessary to get a point across. And, you know, I think, Andy, you've said it over the years. If he would have reeled that performance back, it would have been outstanding. But instead, they just kept saying more Jim Carrey, more Jim Carrey. And he just kept leveling up. And it just, I don't know, it aggravated me. And I feel like rewatching it the other night, I felt like he and Two-Face were yelling at me every time they were on the screen. Just,
yes. Yeah,
that's true.
So, you know, the thing that irks me the most is the yelling, but the truth is that one scene, if I had to narrow it down to one scene, that's the one that just really, I was like, nah.
Yeah. Well, Brendan, I'm going to let you finish, but I'm just going to jump in here and say same. Exactly. What's funny is this was another one where like there are a lot of moments that I don't like, but it was hard to pick a scene. And that was the one I landed on for all the reasons you just said, Jamie. That scene to me is like nails on a chalkboard. It is so annoying and so loud and so unhinged that it just annoys the shit out of me. Because even in other scenes where he goes too far, there are other things to like in those scenes, you know? So it's hard to punish the whole scene because of a couple moments, but that whole thing where he is just, yes, he's completely unrestrained in the worst way. Just one joke after another, and they're all terrible, you know? Yeah, that scene just, it drives me crazy. So, Brendan.
You and me both.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, how do I pick a scene in the most perfect movie that we're going to talk about?
I mean, valid, very valid.
Look, I'll be completely honest. The scene you guys are talking about was in contention for my worst scene, but I went with the scene where Riddler and Two-Face break into and storm Wayne Manor. And there's two reasons, and they both involve Alfred.
Tweet or tweet.
Yeah, that. Alfred ain't that stupid. I mean, it's clearly Riddler and Two-Face. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, Alfred, he's a lot of things, but he's not that dumb. And directly after that, when he gets cracked with Riddler's cane, I think I pointed this out in our when we did the watch-along. When he hits the ground, you can see the stunt double realize that he's dropped the tray in front of the door that Riddler then needs to open to dump him in. And he hits the ground and his arm pushes the tray out of the way. So it's just like the 1-2 punch of that is like, yeah, it's still the twick or tweet thing bugged me in 1995. I'm like, really, Alfred? And then, you know, as I got older and, you know, noticing the blooper that they left in, that scene gives me the irrits.
Yeah, I think I think it was you that pointed out the stunt double, and so now I see it every time.
And it's like the greased back, like gray talcum powder hair. It's
Yeah,
like, it's so clearly not Michael Goff, but yeah, he's like, oh shit, I've got to move that tray, and they kept it in. It's like, come on.
All right. Well, best scene, Jamie.
So, I mean, the hetero male in me really wanted to say anything with sugar and spice on the screen. But, that's not particularly a Batman moment, although it is the ones that make me pay the most attention as I watch this movie now at 51 years old. But true to form, my favorite scene since the first time I've seen it has remained my favorite scene right along. And that is the moment where Two-Face hits him with that flame bomb or whatever the hell it was, flamethrower or whatever thing. And then Batman ducks under the cape and they're celebrating his demise. And old boy comes up out of that fire with a look on his face of, I'm about to beat yo ass. I have always loved that scene. Even though it doesn't really pay off all that well, I've always loved that moment, that look on Kilmer's face of,
well done. So good.
Oh, I love that moment. Love it.
Brendan, what about you? I mean, how do you pick? Again,
yeah, from a perfect movie. Look, for me, and it's the kid in 1995, opening day, first session in the theater. It's the opening scene because, before that, I mean, yes, in 89, like you sort of get that little moment with Batman, like, Jamie's favorite scene from 89. It's sort of more of a tease than anything. Whereas in Batman Returns too, you have to wait a good 10 minutes maybe before Batman shows up. This one, like we were off to the races at the start, and that had never happened in a Batman movie before. And man, 11-year-old me was just absolutely frothing watching that scene. And every time I watch the movie, I have that feeling. I remember that feeling from opening day, and it's always been my favorite because of that.
Nice. Well, Jamie, you and I are like so close to being in sync on almost every choice. Because what I am choosing is essentially the moment of Batman entering the gala again through the skylight. I guess I just love Batman crashing through skylights, but who wouldn't? How
then
can you
Batman
not?
And Robin should be your favorite movie of all time.
Especially if the crash makes the symbol of something. But yes, he crashes through the skylight. I actually think that fight is pretty damn good, but then it leads into that really cool CG 360 camera shot of Batman jumping off the roof and then culminating in that final moment of Batman against the fire. Yeah, I think that is like, it's just like good Batman eye candy in there.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. It's just that one moment. My only critique of it at all is I wish that moment would have paid off.
But it looks cool.
Yeah, it does.
Awesome.
Two-Face makes a fart joke.
That's the part we'll just ignore. Nothing like a bad case of gas. Oh, girl. All right. Jumping forward 2 more years. 1997, Batman and Robin. Worst scene, Jamie.
I swore the last time you made me watch this for that commentary that I was never going to watch this movie again.
I didn't say you had to watch it again.
I maintain that. I blocked as much of it out of my memory as humanly possible. So all I can say is everything.
Great.
If you put a gun to my head and made me choose a scene, I guess I'd say the interaction of Bruce and Alfred at that one point, but I honestly don't even remember what is said in that interaction. I just remember thinking, oh God, the one serious moment in this entire movie.
Well, you're saying, is that for best, or are you just saying we're starting with worst?
Oh, yeah,
worst,
I guess we are.
Worst
but I'm saying that's the only redeeming scene anywhere in the film is all I'm trying to say.
Okay, gotcha.
But I don't even remember that scene, so I can't even, give that scene its props, and I'm sure somebody else is going to pick it anyway. So, the worst part of this movie is every damn thing in this movie.
Jamie has no respect for rules.
No, I don't.
Just none whatsoever.
It's like he wants to get fired.
Sit through this movie again, trying to figure out what I dislike, because the truth is, I dislike the whole damn movie.
You know what, Jamie? You're not quitting. You're fired.
Take my ball and go home.
Okay, great. Worst scene is all scenes.
Yes,
Brendan.
For me, it's the Batgirl and Poison Ivy fight. for several reasons. But there's two that piss me off the most, and one of them is the part where Batman and Robin are underwater with Poison Ivy's vines, and I think they do it twice. They play the same footage in reverse.
Yeah.
To make it look like Batman's coming out to get air and then being pulled back down. They just reverse the footage. And like I said, they do it more than once. It's like we wouldn't notice. Like, what? And then the second part, and this has bugged me since the first time I saw the movie too, is like Poison Ivy gets eaten by the plant that she was already sitting in that was completely...
Yeah.
Like, it makes no sense. Like, she reveals herself in the plant being surrounded by the petals, then she falls into the plant and gets surrounded by the petals again, and it's like, it's curses. What? You were just there. It doesn't make any sense. So, yeah.
That plant was just biding its time, just waiting for the moment to strike. My worst scene of Batman and Robin, this is another one. Tough choice. There's lots of options. But I actually chose one. And I'm choosing the big final battle in the observatory. Because now when I watch it, which occasionally I will, like I can laugh along with a lot of it. But by the time we get to that final battle, I'm exhausted and I'm done. The bomb. And then like it should be, because it's the climax of the movie, there should be some good Batman eye candy, to steal the phrase I just used, in that final battle, but there's really not. It's not that interesting. It's not very exciting. It's not particularly well done. And like the final battle's not good. And then to make it worse, you've got those two scientists like screaming stupid things during it, like dirty fighter, dirty fighter. So yeah, like that whole finale is just, I'm like, I'm done with you. Let's just go home now.
And the reliance on the grapple ropes and stuff in that scene, again, even from the first time I saw it, it's like, yeah, like the scene in Batman Forever, although it defies physics when he uses the grapple gun or whatever to save Dick and Chase, like, it's kind of cool, but like there's just everything is off bloody ropes in that. It's just like again, they just took it too far.
Yeah. All right, well, best scene, Jamie, you're sticking with just kind of a vague... Yeah, it was one of those Bruce and Alfred scenes.
Since I can't give it its props because I don't even really remember the scene and what's said, my favorite part of the movie is the end credits.
Great. I think that was Joel Schumacher's favorite too.
That Smashing Pumpkins song rocks.
Actually, yeah, it's kind of grown on me. Brendan, what about you?
Look, I had to really think, and I wasn't going to sit down and watch it again. But what I came up with, because I didn't want to choose the Bruce and Alfred scene, because it's just sort of the stereotype of like, that's the only good scene in the movie these days, is Bruce confronting Dick in the Batcave and convincing him to trust him again. And Dick drops the petulant child act, and just the way that Bruce is sort of pleading with him, and always like, friend, partner, brother. Like, he's genuine and he means it, and he really wants to help Dick. And I think that is actually to me, I find that better than the Bruce and Alfred scene. Like that might be my favorite Clooney moment as Bruce is pleading with his partner to trust him.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm going with the low hanging fruit though, because I did choose the Bruce and Alfred scene, but specifically the quote that Alfred gives. And the reason I chose it is because I hated this movie so much when it came out, and for so many years after, that this quote, like, it didn't even register for me, because I just hated the movie so much. And I think it was in one of those rewatches that we did for this show, where if you take the quote out of context of this movie, it's actually really brilliant. And the quote that Alfred says, he said, "Death and chance stole your parents. For what is Batman, if not an effort to master the chaos that sweeps our world, an attempt to control death itself?" And when you take that out and just apply it to Batman as a character, it's amazing. It's just a shame that it's buried in this ridiculous movie. But yeah, that's a quote that, like, throughout the years, I'm like, you know what? That's really damn good. I just wish it was in a different movie.
Yep, I can see that.
All right. Well, jumping forward to the reboot, 2005, Batman Begins. Worst scene. And I know that we chatted a little before recording of like, this was tough.
Yeah, this one really was.
Yep. I have racked my brain for over a week trying to figure this out. And literally, as we were logging in to have this conversation, I finally put something down. And honestly, guys, I'm not even sure this is the worst scene in the movie. I don't even dislike this scene, but I literally had to pick something because I didn't want to cheat on this one again like I did with a couple of these other ones. By the way, I'm not done cheating yet.
Shocker. And here's what's funny is like a week ago, I was like, hey guys, like some of these are hard, but no cheating. You got to pick something.
Yeah. I had to cheat. I couldn't help it. So the thing I went with, and again, I don't have a problem with it. I don't. I just maybe think in a movie full of all this greatness, and we've talked about it in the past. Kind of maybe a slight eye roll moment, but I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you. Again, I don't have a big problem with it. I understand the context of it, but in this movie full of, another level greatness and one of the best Batman movies ever made, something had to be the worst. And I picked that. And I don't know if I thought about it for another week if I wouldn't have something else to say. So that's what I'm going with today, for lack of something better to choose.
I think that's a great choice though, because it is a debatable moment in the movie, wherever you land on it. So it makes sense that you would pick that because it's like, like people have different takes on that.
Yeah.
Brendan, what did you choose for a worst scene?
Cut and paste what Jamie said about trying to find a worst scene in this movie. This is one I really struggled with. And also Make It 2. That was the one I came up with. And it's not that I have a problem with it. I completely understand and with Batman on that. It's like what you said, Andy. It's the one moment in that movie that is still, 21 years later, you'll still find people debating about it. It's the fallout from that scene that, that I think is unnecessary. And sort of every time it happens in the movie, you just have that moment of, it pulls you out of the movie because you're like, oh, fanboys. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I mean, no, that makes sense. What's funny is that didn't even cross my mind until you guys said it. And I was like, oh yeah, I get that. What I went with, and again, I had a really hard time picking anything, but it's the least best scene. And it's the moment where Rachel comes over before Bruce's birthday to give him an arrowhead and a guilt trip. And it's like, girl, why'd you even come over here? Just to be mean to him? Like, it's his birthday. What are you doing? So yeah, that's just the scene where I'm like, Rachel, do you even like Bruce? Because you drove over to give him a gift and to make sure he felt bad about himself before you left. So yeah, I went with that. Best scene in Batman Begins, Jamie.
I had a bit of a difficulty here. Ultimately, I didn't have nearly the difficulty picking the best that I did the worst. But, moments I could acknowledge are like the, pretending to be drunk to get everybody out of the birthday party so that he could deal with the League of Shadows, I thought was brilliant. The dock scene where Batman first shows up in the movie. I mean, there's so much greatness in this film, but ultimately I had to go with that. What is the very best Batman moment in this movie? And for me, it is the fire escape interrogation. I swear to God, and swear to me, that whole bit has always just pumped me all the way through the roof with adrenaline. I love it so much. It feels like such a Batman moment for me. In a movie filled with great Batman moments, that one was just the one that stood just a little bit above everything else.
Mm-hmm. Great choice. Brendan?
In news that will shock no one, it's the dock scene for me. And what really cements it for me is, and I think I said this when we did our commentary last year, is it's my favorite delivery of I'm Batman of all time. I love that moment, but the scene leading up to it's just great as well. Like you feel the fear, and the unknown of what these thugs are feeling. And I know Nolan gets criticized a lot for not shooting the Batman fight scenes well. In this one, it makes perfect sense. Like, you're seeing it through the POV, of like not knowing what's going on, not knowing what they're looking at. And punctuated with that, I'm Batman. Mwah, chef's kiss. Love it.
Yeah. Another excellent choice. This is another one where, like, I mean, close your eyes and point, and it could be the best scene because there's so damn much good stuff in this movie. It's so good. So my choice is probably not surprising because I'm sure I've mentioned it before, but it's just perfection, and it's the final scene of Batman and Gordon on top of police department with the signal. That's just.
I specifically did not mention that because I knew damn well that's what you were going to pick.
It's just perfect. The writing is perfect. The acting is perfect. It looks amazing. Like, it's one of my favorite stills from the movie is the two of them standing right in front of the signal. It looks like, a live action version of a Batman comic, but everything in that scene works. It's the perfect final scene to this movie. And then the perfect dialogue of, I never said thank you and you'll never have to. Every time I watch it, I feel it in my soul, and I freaking love it. Then that music kicks in as he jumps off the roof. Oh, holy shit. Come on. This is just, it's the best. It's so good.
So, fun fact, I was sitting in the line for the midnight premiere of The Dark Knight, and I was watching on my iPad or iPod back in those days.
It would have been an iPod. Yep.
I was watching Batman Begins on my iPod, and I didn't time it up well enough. So I'm sitting there by myself. I didn't go with there was tons of other people there, but I was there, no friends or anything with me. It was just me.
Couldn't convince the watching that. Guy?
And I realized because I was actually laying in bed at like 9:30. I'm like, I'll just go tomorrow. I'm so tired. And then like in the back of my brain, it was like the signal went off of get your ass up and go watch this movie because you haven't missed a Batman midnight premiere ever. So I did it. But anyway, I was watching this movie, but I mistimed it. So there was like 25 minutes left and the line started moving to go into the theater. And I was like, all right, I got to do it. And I fast forwarded to that scene because I needed to get that scene in before I watched The Dark Knight. So I know exactly what you mean. It's a pretty much perfect Batman scene. It's just I had that one scene that I like just a little bit more.
Oh, yeah, totally. Between our three choices, man, I'm real happy with that. Awesome. Well, speaking of The Dark Knight, it's now 2008. You're in that seat at midnight. So am I. I'm sure so is Brendan. Worst scene of The Dark Knight. It's just as hard, but go ahead.
Hang on.
You're going to cheat.
No, well, this is my last cheat. So let's get it out of the way. The end credits. I did not want this movie to end. I did not want this movie to end. Holy shit. It's still my favorite movie of all time. I love this freaking movie so much. You cannot make me pick a bad scene in this film because as far as I'm concerned, there isn't one.
All right, cheater. Mm-hmm. But I get it. It's fine. Brendan, did you choose something?
Again, difficult. But when I really thought about it, I landed on one. I'm like, actually, you know what? This scene does piss me off. Bruce and Rachel on the balcony. And the way when Bruce like full on asks her if she meant what she said about, if the day came that he stopped being Batman, would they be together? And she just flat out lies to him. She said, and what the chain reaction of events that moment sets off is just like, bitch, just tell him you're in love with Harvey. Like, just tell him. It's, whatever. Mm-hmm. But like she makes Bruce hang on to that hope, and it's bullshit. And it's because of that he, we get the 7 years of no Batman and all that kind of stuff. And then the way that he just assholes Alfred in The Dark Knight Rises and stuff. It's just like, and all because she couldn't tell him the friggin' truth. It's like, that actually, like I said, I hadn't given it that much thought until I started thinking about it for this. And I'm like, you know what? Rachel's a bitch. And it's all from that scene.
Wow. Well, it's funny is I feel like in one of our hot takes episodes, someone said that of like, Rachel actually sucks. And here's why. And I think it's stuff like that. Or like what I brought up about Begins is there just moments where it's like, You're not a very good friend to him. Well, this was one I racked my brain. I like had to replay the entire movie in my head and go, is there a scene I don't like? Not really, no. But I still picked a worst scene, very loosely worst, and that is the press conference when Harvey is like, I'm the Batman. And the reason I picked it as the worst, not that it's not important because it certainly is, but I picked it as the worst just because of some of the acting of the extras in the audience. Like that dude, that especially the dude of he should turn himself in. Like that always gives me a little bit of like a, and that's the best I got for a worst scene. And again, the scene itself is fine, but yeah, just some of the people with one line, maybe, not the greatest actors. Best scene in The Dark Knight, Jamie.
It's my favorite movie. There's not a damn frame of this movie I would change, so I have to say everything. But I did actually pick a scene for this one.
Okay, great.
Because I feel that in this movie that is just loaded with greatness from beginning to end, I was so close to picking the loiter intimidate scene at the beginning, but this one just narrowly edged it out. And that was dangling Eric Roberts over that balcony, and his says, from one professional to another, fall from this height, it won't kill me. And Batman says, I'm counting on it, and drops his ass. I still laugh I've seen this movie over 100 times. I still laugh my ass off every single time during that scene because it's so perfect. It's such a Batman moment. I could have picked 30 other scenes in this movie that I love almost as much, but that one just narrowly edges out everything else.
Yeah. So what I'm learning is I love when Batman crashes through skylights. Jamie loves when Batman dangles bad guys.
Hell yeah.
Actually, yes, even for Batman 89, you chose another dangling bad guy one. Okay, great. I'm seeing a pattern. Yeah. No, awesome choice. Brendan, what about you?
I mean, look, for me, it's sort of the stereotypical one. It's the interrogation scene. Have loved it from day one. Still love it now. The dialogue's amazing. We actually have Batman and Joker in this room having a conversation. And the way it ramps up to the point where Batman, grabs the chair and locks the door, and Gordon's desperation to try and get in there. And yeah, it's so good. It's so good. And they're both acting their asses off. And
yes, I was going to say,
shows, yeah.
He deserved that award. I don't give a damn what anybody says. I hate the narrative that he only won because of his death. I don't buy that for a second. And for all of the great performing that he did in this film, and I think pretty much every frame he's on is fantastic, that's the scene that won him that trophy.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Well, Utah, get me too.
Yep.
I mean, it is the obvious answer, but it's obvious for a reason. That scene is electric. The two of them in that room together, we knew that scene was going to happen, and that scene delivers in every way it possibly can. It is so fun to watch. And like you said, Brendan, when I'm rewatching the movie and I know it's coming, I lean in.
Yep. 100%.
It's absolutely amazing. It is a historic cinematic scene, and we were there when it started, and yeah, it's legendary for a reason. But because I chose the same as you, I'll give a quick little backup, and it's when Joker walks in on the mob meeting.
So damn good.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So damn good.
Oh my god. So
I'm gonna make this pencil disappear.
It's just that's the moment when you're like, holy shit, we are in for it.
That's where he won the crowd. That's when all the haters, everything, that one moment, it just brilliant. Yep.
So, but amazing scenes. Yeah, The Dark Knight. Hard to pick a worst and really hard to pick a best. But, it's just that freaking good. Now we're going to jump forward 4 years to 2012 in The Dark Knight Rises. A worst scene, Jamie?
I know this movie has warts, but I still love it. I still think it's a great movie. So I had a little bit of a struggle picking the worst, but ultimately there is one moment that has made me roll my eyes since the first time I saw it. And that is when he's at the construction site or whatever, and he starts, wrestling with the dude, and he makes the stupid little ricochet shot with the gun and then gets disgusted with the gun and throws it away. I hate that ricochet. I hate it so damn much. It's so. Do you have any idea the physics involved with trying to ricochet a bullet to hit somebody that's got you held from behind? I mean, he ain't RoboCop. All right, no. Sorry, that scene has always driven me crazy. I want it wiped from the movie. So that's my worst.
Well, there's a deleted scene that shows that John Blake was an expert pool player. So he's really good at like hitting just the right angles.
Well, hitting just the right. I'm sorry. It doesn't work. It does not work. It does not.
Cool. Brendan, what about you? Worst scene?
For me, it's the finale. I think like the whole nuclear bomb thing is just a bit ridiculous. And the whole, they're so many miles offshore, everything's okay. It's like, you dropped a friggin' nuclear bomb on the coastline of a major city. Everything's not going to be okay.
And then, I'm pretty sure they say it has a 6 mile range. He's not 6 miles out into the ocean.
No. And then like, even if and then if like the whole Nolan wanting to mind F the audience, which became, like it sort of was there with the Prestige, and he didn't do it in The Dark Knight, thank God. But then it sort of seems to be like from after The Dark Knight, every Nolan movie needs to have that, I'm just gonna mind fuck, pretending to be smarter than the. I don't know. It just bugs me. And then, and we know how we feel about the John Blake Robin thing. Yeah, it just doesn't land for me, unfortunately.
The John Blake thing, I struggled with it. Like I was contemplating, do I want to choose that? And ultimately I didn't. And I'll tell you why, because that last scene in the movie where he's going into the cave and that platform rises up while he's in the cave. Every time I watch that scene, I think to myself, I would watch a Batman movie with this dude just to see what happens. So,
the score goes a long way in that part though.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
The score goes on, because that's the part that I get excited about rather than what I'm seeing on screen. It's the score. But yeah, it's just the whole Nolan wanting to, just try and find this really smart way out of it. But it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't work.
Yeah. This is another one I had a bit of a hard time at first, because like there are things I don't love about the movie, but it's hard to make those a specific scene, right? Like I don't love that he retired for 8 years, but that's not a scene. That's just part of the story. So I was like, is there a scene that I would consider the worst? And then it dawned on me and I went, oh, of course, duh. Stupidest scene in the movie. Absolutely. It's the one that, shits me the most, Brendan. And that is when John Blake comes to Bruce's house and tells him how he figured out he was Batman because one time he met him and he looked sad.
That is pretty flimsy. That would probably be my second choice behind that bullshit bullet ricochet. But the fact is, I can live with that. The ricochet, I still want gone from the movie.
So, to steal a phrase from Justin Kowalski TM, the orphan vision of John Blake that reveals. Yeah, that was Justin's. He has orphan vision. It's a superpower that reveals Bruce was Batman because, I could tell that you had a fake smile. Is so stupid. And I've heard all the attempts to defend it. And no, I'm not buying it. It's stupid anyway. But there's good stuff too. So let's talk about a best scene, Jamie.
A lot of great scenes in the movie. A lot of stuff I love. I tried to go for that, defining Batman moment. And there's a couple of pretty good Batman moments in this movie. I don't think it's quite on the level as its two predecessors. But this is the part that, it doesn't hurt me, but my favorite scene is a Catwoman scene.
Okay.
And to kick that even further, it's a Catwoman scene where she's not even wearing the costume. And you guys have heard me talk about how much I love this moment when she's in the bar exchanging the fingerprints for the money and has the senator or whatever he is in there with her. And the cops raid the place and she's just kicking wholesale ass. And then they come in and she starts screaming her ass off and then switches back. Those switches she does in that moment are some of my favorite acting that I've seen in probably 30 years. I love Anne Hathaway in that moment so much because to me, she sells that so perfectly, switching back and forth from being this terrified, helpless girl to, oh, this is shit, I'm out of here. I think she is utterly perfect in that scene, and I love it. It's my favorite thing in the whole movie.
I love that choice. And I think you're right. It's to a lesser degree, it's what Brendan said about Heath Ledger when he comes into the mob and any doubts about his performance immediately melt away. Same thing here. Like there wasn't as much doubting about Anne Hathaway, but she so owns that first sequence where you go, oh, she's got this. We're good.
It was the oops moment for me with Hathaway.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say to a slightly lesser degree is, Bruce confronting her about the pearls. Yeah. It's almost the same thing. It's just I think she does it great in that moment, and I love that scene too. But I think this other one that I'm talking about that I chose, I think is just a little bit more elevated, and that's why I picked.
Oh, absolutely, it is. But the way she turns on a dime several times in the movie is really great and very Catwoman.
And it's just perfect to me.
Yeah. And for Jamie to pick a Catwoman scene, woo, that's special.
I mean, again, if my hetero male part was going to come out, it's like any scene with her in that suit is perfect.
Well, there's
her on the Batpod with the shot from behind.
I mean, I almost chose the moment where she's at Daggett's place and she just kind of has that sway strut coming up before she pins his neck to the wall with his wrist to the wall. She's the best
part of that movie. She really is. She's so good.
She's flawless. Yes, you stupid bitch. Weird. No one's ever called me stupid before.
I very much love, and I contemplated this quickly, but I was just like, no, I love those other scenes too much. The moment where Bane, he's like, Daggett says, I'm in charge, and Bane just kind of casually rests his backhand on the shoulder with the open hand. Do you feel in charge?
Yeah.
I love that moment too. I was so close to choosing that, but that was like a distant third to the other two.
Yeah. Well, let's hear what Brendan chose.
Storming the sewers with Catwoman, and which obviously leads to the Bane fight, and even though it sidelines Batman for the rest of the movie, essentially, which something that, again, to quote me, shits me. That fight's next level. No score, it's brutal. You get the Nightfall moment of him having his back broken. But just, the moment leading up to it too, where they are storming the sewers, and you get that really cool montage of just taking out the guards, and that moment where it's taken from Dark Knight Returns, where Batman's, moving, but sort of you get that strobe light effect from the gunfire, which was later ripped off and not done as well in The Batman. That whole
you just encapsulated all of the Batman.
that whole scene is great, and it's it's the high point. This movie has just I look back at myself in 2012 and it's like, man, you were drinking the Kool-Aid big time, because this movie has not aged well for me at all. But that scene is still kick ass.
Yeah, that's a great scene. So I went with, you were saying earlier, Brendan, your favorite moment of Batman Forever is the very beginning, because you don't have to wait for Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Dark Knight Rises sure does push that more than anything.
Yes.
We have to wait 45 minutes for Batman, I think, if I remember correctly. So for me, you wait that 45 minutes, and then when he finally returns as Batman, boy, is it worth the wait. That sequence of his return is so good. And like I said, like kind of intercut with what Catwoman is doing and everything, but the music and the chase and his reemergence, it's just awesome. And then that jump he does off the truck on the Batpod, oh my God, like just awesome stuff. And that's what I look forward to watching the most when I revisit this movie.
And the direct pull from Dark Knight Returns, we're in for a show, or what, I can't paraphrasing, but
right.
It was hard for me not to choose that because, as far as the Batman moments, that was probably it. It's just these other scenes. As much as I love this movie, I still think it's a great movie. It's just these other scenes I loved a little bit more than that one.
Yeah, nope. Good choices. All right, 4 years later, 2016, BVS, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, celebrating 10 years. Worst scene, Jamie.
I also struggled with this one badly. I actually sat down and watched it for the 10th anniversary and whatnot, and I honestly think this movie's getting better with age.
Agree.
Maybe I'm crazy with that. Maybe I'm just, Batman blind. I don't know, but I think this movie.
You are right, but you're also crazy.
Okay, fair enough. There's not really a lot of stuff that I don't like, but the one thing that I really don't like every time I watch it is how Doomsday looks. But damn it, that fight's so good. I have a hard time saying that's the worst scene in the movie, even though I hate how he looks. And I don't like that Doomsday has all the powers of a Kryptonian. I don't like how much they monkey with Doomsday. So I know, Andy, I know it's not really a scene, but Doomsday drives me up a freaking wall in this movie.
Okay.
Even though the fight itself is great. The Trinity fighting Doomsday, I think, is an awesome scene, but I don't need Doomsday to have heat vision or heat breath or whatever that bullshit is. I think he needs to look more like Doomsday. That movie had too great of a budget for us not to get a fully realized Doomsday right out of the gate. I feel disappointed by Doomsday himself, even though I think the scene itself is not particularly that flawed.
Yeah.
And I know that's kind of another cheat, but that's kind of where I land with it.
I mean, I've said it for 10 years now, is like, they were like 90% of the way there. Like, why would they not just go that extra 10% and make it freaking Doomsday? It's just bizarre because you were this close. What the heck were you doing? All right, Brendan, we're seeing.
I think you and I might be on the same page here, Andy. I could be wrong. But we were discussing it in the group chat last week, I think it was. And for me, it's the nightmare scene. I do give it props because I love Batman's look in the nightmare stuff with the trench coat and the goggles. And we know that, Richard was struggling that day and acting his ass off to make it work. But it pulls you out of the movie. It comes out of nowhere. And bookended with the flat, the Flash part at the end is kind of, and to me, like the first time I saw the movie, I'm like, is that the Flash? Because he doesn't look like the Flash. Like, we hadn't seen the Flash at all, so we don't know that it's futuristic Flash. It's confusing to people who weren't following the film to know what it means, and we know that there's no payoff, which retroactively makes it even more pointless. But as cool as the aesthetics are, it just pulls you out of the movie. It doesn't need to be there.
Yeah. Yep, we're on the same page. It's the nightmare sequence for all the reasons you said. Again, like you said, I respect how weird it is and how cool it is, and it's a big swing, and like I respect Richard's work on that amazing one-shot fight, all that stuff. Like I respect that. I like that I get to see parademons. I like that too. But it's just pointless. There's no reason for it to be there. It doesn't matter at all. And like aesthetically, I don't really like the Mad Max Batman. I like Batman and Gotham being Batman. I don't really, I'm not super into like the post-apocalyptic version of that anyway. So yeah, like I appreciate it for what it is, but it is the easiest thing to just pull out of the movie and nothing changes. And what's funny is that when we talked about the 10-year a week or two ago, I saw the movie, I think 5 times in theaters, I think. After the first 2 times, Nightmare was when I took my bathroom break because I was like, I'm not missing anything. Like it doesn't matter. It was a perfect length for a bathroom break. So, that's your pro tip. Like, don't even pause it. Just go to the bathroom during the nightmare sequence. Best scene, Jamie.
Are we just going to make
all
it
going to
3?
say? I mean, you just want to all say it unanimously. I mean,
yeah, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 33. Martha Rescue.
Right?
Martha, why did you say that? Martha Rescue. I'm with you guys.
I mean, again, it's a ton of great scenes in this, a ton of great moments. By the way, when I was watching it the other day, I rewound the breakthrough the wall scene that Rich was talking about, that he had to rehearse with that guy so much to grab the gun out of his hand in just the right way. I rewound that 5 times. My wife's like, why are you rewinding that scene? I'm like, I just learned about what he did to do this. So that is pretty cool. But God damn it, man. That Martha Rescue is, I don't apologize for saying this. That is the best live action Batman moment I have ever seen on a screen ever.
Don't apologize
I don't think second place is even close.
Nope. absolutely with you all the way. I mean, how can it not be? There's some cool scenes in the movie, but as a Batman podcast, how can it not be? And if we were doing this as a countdown of like your favorite Batman scenes in a movie, like this would still be number one for all three of us. I guarantee it. So, yeah, we've gushed about it for 10 years. We've gushed about it even more for 9 years since we had our first interview with Richard when he broke it down and we learned all the ins and outs of it. Like, it's just brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And it is the most Batman has ever Batmaned in live action ever.
I'll just insert the gif of Ben Affleck just saying, I agree. But yeah, I mean, what more is there to say? The Martha Rescue is quintessential Batman, and it is a Batman that we have been waiting to see in a movie forever since we became Batman fans. And make no mistake, we love or like most of the Batman movies that preceded this. So this is no shade to any of them, but we never saw Batman fight like this in live action. And it had been a couple of years where we're like, hey, why can't we get that? And Zack Snyder and Damon Caro and Richard Citrone and their entire team heard us. They heard the disturbance in the force and went, yes, we can give it to you. And they did. And the sequence is what you want to see Batman do, where, yes, he can just clear a room of how many bad guys, 20, 25, 30, I don't know. Just him, because he's freaking Batman. It's amazing.
The setup and the bookends with it, I think, are magnificent too. I mean, again, all due respect to Rich and that team putting that scene together, but Alfred drone piloting the Batwing and kind of nudging him through that window to get in
that
there.
little jump.
yeah, and the end moment of the thing with KG Beast where he comes through the wall and grabs that gun and shoots the tank and rescues Martha. And the one joke in the movie that really I appreciated was it's okay, I know your son. Oh, I figured the cape. And I love that moment. Everything pretty much from the time Bruce goes to save her until the time she's safe is the best part of that movie.
I could watch it on loop and have previously.
Then I'll just throw out a quick honorable mention, and it also came up in the last episode, is the Texas Switch moment. I freaking love that scene. The Batmobile racing in, going into the lake, down that ramp, up into the Batcave, watching Batman jump out of the Batmobile, walk up the stairs. Affleck takes the cowl off. Well, he doesn't, but Affleck looks so good in the suit without the cowl and the hair. Like, that entire scene is just awesome.
My favorite entrance to a Batcave too.
Yeah, it's
so cool.
All right. Jumping forward a year and a half, 2017, the theatrical version of Justice League. Worst scene, Jamie?
Speaking of jokes, the moment where Superman and Batman have their little confrontation at the Memorial Park, and Superman reiterates the line of "Tell me, do you bleed?" And then Batman is henceforth laying on the ground going, "Oh, something's definitely bleeding." I want to kick puppies when that scene is on.
Yeah. I'll just jump in and I'll make it too, because mine was, post-battle in Heroes Park.
Okay.
Yeah. For the exact same reason, Jamie, so I don't need to bang on about it. But yeah, I mean, you've got the CGI Cavill in there, and his dialogue's terrible in it. And punctuated with the Batman thing, is just like, this is bad.
Well, I'm going a completely different place, because I had to think. I was like, what is the worst scene? And it was the scene that pissed me off in 2017 and still pisses me off. It's when Clark is in the cornfield, because it is so terribly reshot, terrible green screen, that terribly rewritten, where even the dialogue feels like mismatched. It doesn't even feel like it flows as a normal conversation, because it's just chopped the hell up and it's distracting and it doesn't look good. Yeah, that whole scene, even in 2017, when I liked almost everything else, that scene, I was like, oh, I can't get on board with this.
It doesn't flow like a river, like the S does on his suit.
Right. So yeah, that scene, yikes. But how about a good scene in Justice League? Jamie?
For me, it is the Batman trapping the parademon at the beginning. The way he's using that criminal to bait him with the fear, and that whole sequence of him fighting with the parademon. I just love that scene. Even to this day, when I know there is a vastly superior version of Justice League out there, that scene to me is still a great Batman moment and the best scene in the movie.
Are we making this 3?
Oh, make it 3? Make it 3? Yeah. Go ahead, Brendan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, same. Like, I love the reflection of Batman crouching on the windowsill at the start.
Yes.
That's really cool. All the movements are great. It's a really cool Batman moment. I'll leave another comment for when we talk about Zach's, but I wanted to pick a scene that is only in this movie, which is why I went with this one. But I could have cheated and picked the same scene twice.
Well, what's the fun in that? But yeah, it's everything that you said. Like this, when I watch Zach's, this and the other Gordon scene are the only things I actually miss. Because like this scene is really good. Like that reveal of Batman in the reflection while he's crouching, he looks so Batman there. And then the scene that unfolds of that fight is really good. And yeah, it's this really great scene in this mess of a movie. And I still like it a lot. All right. Well, let's get to the real version. Zack Snyder's Justice League 2021. Worst scene, Jamie.
It was a tough choice, but ultimately, as I thought about it more and more, I couldn't pick anything but this, and that's Martha Manhunter. And I don't mind the whole Swanwick Manhunter thing, but we just talked about this on the last episode. There is literally no reason in the world for him to have that conversation with Lois. That literally could have been a Martha and Lois conversation and had probably more effect than it did in that moment. So it just doesn't make any sense. It was just a way. I don't like criticizing Zach. He's still one of my favorite filmmakers working today. I love his stuff. I like way, way, way more of what he does than I don't. But that was just a ham-fisted way to say, hey, Martian Manhunter's been here the whole damn time, and you're going to get more of him later. And it took away from the moment.
This was my second choice. It's not my first choice, but yes, for all those reasons. It makes no sense. It's so poorly done, and Yep, the less said, the better, but I'm with you. Brendan?
I think you and I might be on the same page here again, Andy. It is the nightmare stuff at the end?
We are.
Yeah.
Correct.
Look, I appreciate the hell out of the fact that Zach was able to to shoot this stuff. And obviously he did it in his driveway, I think, but the fact that he was allowed to reshoot this or shoot it in general and put it in the movie and everything, I respect that, and I think it's great, and that Warner Brothers let it happen. Awesome. Again, it doesn't need to be there. It pulls you out of the movie, and even more so, it's a setup for stuff that we're not going to ever see, and it's frustrating. And yeah, I mean, there's some cool little moments in it. Like, I do like Batman's dialogue with the Joker, but the fact that they weren't together makes it a bit frustrating, because I would have loved to have seen these two together just once, because we're never ever going to get that. Batman dropping the F-bomb, not necessary, but that aside, what he says to the Joker is pretty cool. But again, it's just frustrating because it's a payoff we're never going to see, and it's a bit over the top.
Yeah. I mean, you said most of what I needed to say. Yes, that's my choice as well. I wish it was post credits, because then I could just turn the movie off at the credits, and then it's like this doesn't exist, because it's pointless. And like you said, I respect that Zach was able to do it, at home, but it's not just that Ben and Jared weren't together. Almost none of these people were together. And you can tell, like, the random one-off shot of Ezra Miller where it's like, obvious he wasn't there. And that the whole scene feels like weirdly disjointed that way, because it was shot kind of one by one, and then he tried to incorporate it and make it all work, and it doesn't quite work. So it doesn't look as good as the Nightmare in BVS. I think the writing is questionable. Some of the acting isn't very good either.
Mara's accents. So
Mara, yeah.
this is after Aquaman had made $1 billion and everyone had seen it. And it's just she's out of place. It's very bizarre.
Yeah, and yeah, like I wanted to see Ben and Jared in a scene together, but yeah, it's so obvious they're not together, and I don't really love their back and forth anyway. So for me, this is like it's just pointless. I don't need it. Toss it. All right, and then jumping forward, only a year. Only a year.
We haven't done best scene yet.
Oh, we haven't. You're right. Sorry. Best scene of Zack Snyder's Justice League.
You just can't wait to talk about the Batman.
Well, there's so much to discuss. Yeah, sorry. Best scene of Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's because Jamie flipped them on me, and then I'm still reading them in order on my list. I'm sorry. Best scene of Zack Snyder's
Justice League. I'm trying to
Justice
make the world a better place by ending on a positive note, you jackleg.
No one appreciates it more than me.
So, best scene of Zack Snyder's Justice League. There's a lot of really great shit in this movie, man. I love this movie so much. But since I was a child, I never would have dreamed of seeing something as cool as that final battle with the Justice League, dealing with the parademons and the forces of Darkseid. That was freaking another level amazing. Love that scene. I even quite like it in the theatrical version, but Zach's version it's on another level. Mm-hmm. Another level.
Mm-hmm. All right. Brandon?
I had to go with a Batman one or a scene that involves Batman because it's a Batman podcast. My favorite scene in Zack Snyder's Justice League is the Flash rescuing Iris. And it makes me cry nearly every time I watch it. It's just beautiful. But it's the tunnel battle is what I went with. Because it's the first time you sort of get, aside from Superman, you get the League working together. The Nightcrawler's pretty cool. Like the Batman stuff in it is really, really cool. And like the reason, like I said, I could have chosen this twice because even in the Whedon version, it's cool. And it has that added line with the Flash of like, just save one person, which is really, and I'm actually disappointed that wasn't Zach because
I really like that too.
Moment. Yeah. But yeah, I just reckon it's a really cool fight. And it's the first time that we see our heroes united and together. And it again, when I know it's coming, like, you get that shot of Batman dropping out of the Nightcrawler in the tunnel, and the way he lands, it's like, oh, here you go, and you sort of shuffle forward in your seat. Like, it's great. It's such a good scene.
Yeah, both of your choices are correct. I ever so slightly lean towards yours, Brendan, with the tunnel battle. I think that's what I went with as well. But man, it's so hard to argue against either of them. But for all the reasons you just said, and just in that tunnel battle, you're right. We finally get to see them united. We're seeing them interact. And there are so many just awesome hero moments in that sequence.
Splash panels. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the Flash running down and hitting the sword back to Wonder Woman.
Yep, that's the one I was thinking of.
and the Flash, like, in super speed, stopping all of those rocks from falling on the hostages, and Batman just swinging across that chasm, simple things like that, and Wonder Woman facing off against Steppenwolf. And like, there's just so much great stuff in there, and then being punctuated with the entrance of Aquaman.
Is it that scene where Steppenwolf's like, my axe is still slick with the blood of your sisters?
Yes. Yeah,
like that's a hell of a line,
right? But yeah, like there is just so much awesome stuff in that scene that, I love it. Cool. Okay. So now we jump forward a year. And again, it blows me away. There was only a year between Zack Snyder's Justice League and the Batman. That doesn't sound right, but apparently it is. So the Batman 2022, the worst scene, Jamie.
The Batmobile being ugly is just a thing all to itself. But that scene drives me so insane because I've watched the movie probably 5-6 times now, half dozen, whatever, give or take. And every single time I keep thinking to myself, maybe this will be the time when this movie fully clicks with me. Because I still maintain that first hour to hour and 15 minutes of the movie up until the point where they are dealing with the DA that's taped up and Batman getting the bomb blown up in his head and all that stuff. That's kind of where the movie dips for me, and it doesn't recover till the end, and it doesn't recover quite well enough. But up to that point, if it would have maintained the level that it had me on for my attention and my emotions, I still maintain that was the best Batman movie I was ever watching. I thought it was so freaking good. But then there's that moment where there's a firefight going on, and Batman, instead of wanting to deal with the thugs that are shooting at him and Catwoman, he decides to go get in his car and rev his engine as if to say, go get in your car and let's go play. That is the dumbest Batman shit I've ever seen, maybe in my entire life. I hate the scene. I hate the car. And it just makes no sense in the world why it happens the way it does. Do not at me. I'm not interested in debating. I've watched it enough times trying to make the logic work in my head. There's no reason in the world for him to get in that damn car other than it sounds cool when it starts. That's it. That's all.
Yeah, I had not thought of that, but it's true because the Penguin's not even in his car yet. He's got no one to chase.
No, he goes and gets in the Batmobile and revs the engine, and then everybody else runs to their cars. It doesn't make a damn bit of sense.
There is a reason for it. It's because that's the part of the movie when they need a car chase. That's the reason.
Okay. Right. Yeah. So that's my least favorite scene.
Great. Love it. Brendan.
So something I'd kept a little bit quiet from you guys is when we discussed originally that this was going to be, Jamie's swan song episode. I know all these movies like the back of my hand. And even though it was hard to choose some scenes, I was able to do it without watching them. The Batman, not so much. So several weeks ago, I sat down and watched The Batman again for the first time since January 2023. And as much as there's a lot in this movie that just irritates me, nothing irritates me more than that fucking squirrel suit.
It's pretty bad.
It is so bad. And we've banged, we know that I hate the aesthetics in this movie, but it just looks terrible. And he can't even work the damn thing.
And on top of that, there's no reason for it. Why not have bat wings instead of a flying squirrel? What the hell, guys?
It's because he needs to be more realistic than Nolan. It's like he's ripped Nolan off in so many parts of this movie. It's like, why can't he just have a cape that glides? Like, it's just the time it takes to put it. It's just ridiculous. And Batman has never looked more goofy on screen. And I'm including the Clooney head bobbles and everything. Like, he just looks frigging ridiculous. And then the fact that he crash land, it's just terrible. It is the worst. I said it's the, with the Martha Rescue, it's the best Batman has ever Batmaned on big screen. This is the worst that Batman has ever Batmaned in a Batman movie. It's just friggin' terrible. Hate it. Absolutely hate it. Destroy it with the 1,000 Suns.
Well, you're both correct. But I went with something different. And I feel like I've maybe mentioned it in passing, but we've all talked about like the design of the movie, and I'm setting all of that aside because we know, right? We all know that. But it is a scene that truly pissed me off where I was like, what the hell are you even doing, man? And it's somewhere in the middle of the movie. I haven't watched it since the theater. I'll be honest. I can't.
It's so long. It's so long.
I'm just curious. Do you own a copy of it?
I do. I bought the Steelbook when it came out. And then it's just sat on my shelf ever since.
I wish I could tell you that I watch it periodically, once every year or so, just thinking it's going to click. And I'm telling you, I have not moved the needle a single bit either direction for like or dislike on this movie since I saw it the first time. Well, and again, I don't dislike the movie. There are certainly parts of the movie that I do not like, but I want to like a Batman movie, and I just can't force myself to register with the logic that is going on in this film, or lack thereof, I should say.
Right.
Same. And the fact that I love the Penguin show so much makes no sense. because I shouldn't, but it was really friggin' good.
The Penguin is a good show, but I mean, I'm watching that more for the performances of Colin Farrell, and I'm sorry, I forget the lady's name again that was kind of his counterpart in the show. Their performances were worth watching the show for, but as far as like a Batman related show, I mean, they went out of their way to make it not Batman related. So I mean, it's literally the only thing that I can remember seeing Batman related in that show was like a mention of Otisburg on a TV broadcast or something. And that's more Superman adjacent than it is Batman. So.
Well, it's funny because, and sorry to bring up really old wounds, but it's your last episode, Jamie. Why not? It's like whenever like the Rob Zombie Halloween movies come up, and I remember not that long ago, I was like, yeah, you know, I haven't revisited them since forever. Maybe one of these days I will. And you, Jamie, you went, no, don't. It's not going to change. You already know what it is.
Yeah.
So why do it? And that's kind of how I feel about the Batman. It's like, I know what it is. Like, it's not going to magically work for me. It's just, and it's 3 hours. I got better things to do with my time. So I just never have, never bothered.
Do you think you'll rewatch it before the sequel?
Maybe, but here's your hottest hot take. If the sequel looks like more of the same, I don't even care to see it.
Ooh. So I hold out hope that the sequel will be at least somewhat tonally different just because of the shift the movie tried to make there at the end when he's helping rescue the people from that building. Like the monologue that he has going on there. And I still appreciate the internal monologue in this film because it's the only Batman movie that's ever given it to me. I want that to be the launching point for him to become the Batman that we know and love. Do I believe that's going to happen? Probably not. But I'm holding out hope that he is going to elevate something to that level of, because there was again a lot of good in this movie too. There just was equally as much bad or maybe even a little bit more bad than there was good. That's really my biggest problem with the movie is it's so damn middle of the road, and it could have been a great movie, and in my opinion it just simply was not. But I still hold out hope that second movie can deliver what it is I was wanting out of this movie in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, and I am happy to be proven wrong. You guys have heard it many times over the years on this podcast. I will admit when I am wrong and go, you know what, it was good or great or whatever. And I reserve that right if we start seeing stuff from the sequel and I'm like, oh, holy shit, you know what, this looks great. That's great. I hope so, because like you said, Jamie, it just makes me sad that you know there's a freaking Batman movie that I just can't get on board with. And one of the reasons is the scene that I picked for my worst scene. And again, it's somewhere in the middle of the movie. And it's a Gordon Batman scene. They're on a roof and Gordon goes, well, what do we do next? How do we find the Riddler? And Batman goes, we just wait till he kills someone else, I guess. I'm paraphrasing, but that's literally the scene. Batman's like, no, I think the line is, it's the Riddler's game now. So he's like, oh, you're just going to sit on your ass and wait for him to kill somebody? Cool, Batman. You're really good at your job. Why don't you go home, turn on some TV, rub one out, and just wait for someone to drop dead? Great work, Batman. Yeah, that scene pissed me off so bad. Because
work on your squirrel suit and your stupid ass car.
Watch Rocky and Bullwinkle and go, I've got an idea for a suit. So yeah, no, that scene just pissed me off. I hated it.
Yeah. Well, there we go.
But maybe there's a good scene to talk about. There probably is. So Jamie, best scene in the Batman.
I want to say like the whole sequence of him giving that first internal monologue and narrating kind of what's happening. But the truth is there's one, I mean, I like all of it. I think it's all really good there. But there's that one moment where the drophead runs out of I think it's a liquor store, and looks down that dark alley and pauses, and Batman's, I forget the line of dialogue. I'm sorry, I didn't rewatch it for doing this, but you know, the line basically says, you know, I forget, but
he's essentially saying that he can't be everywhere, but it's just the thought to the villain, you know, to the bad guy.
Yeah,
and that's
down
enough.
that alley. And there's like, I mean, you're like sitting there watching it as you know, the audience, you're watching that scene. It's like, oh, is Batman down that alley? And you can kind of see the drophead in that same moment thinking, oh shit, I'm not going down there because he could be there. And he turns around and runs the other direction. And that feels like
hit by a car, actually.
Such a powerful Batman moment that he is so much in the head of these criminals that even when he's not there, he's still there. He's, as Brendan said earlier, he's living rent-free in their heads. That is a freaking awesome moment. And honestly, guys, for all the problems this movie may have, for all of the other movies that we love of Batman, I think this is probably a top 5 Batman moment in any movie that I've seen today. I love this moment. Love it.
Nice. Brandon, what about you?
Well, I can sort of expand from there because, mine's the opening montage with the inner monologue, and then obviously it culminates in the fight on the train platform. Look, it hit the ground running. It hit the ground really, strong. Like it came out of the gates really, really well. I'm watching this thing going, okay, aesthetic aside, this is kicking ass so far. And for me, it doesn't get any better than that opening scene, which is a real shame for such a long movie. And I know we talked about Zack's Justice League. I mean, it's an hour longer, but it just doesn't feel it to me. But yeah, like I do think that opening scene, and Pattinson's really cool in it, and beating ass and taking names, and it's a really great Batman moment. And as Jamie said, yeah, we get that inner monologue. Like we've never had it before, and I was the same. I was like, oh shit, they're actually going for it. They're going to do the inner monologue. We only get it at the beginning and the end. It doesn't carry on through the rest of the movie. But again, I'll give credit where credit's due, and that opening scene is really freaking good.
Yeah, I knew that's kind of the, I think, obvious choice. And rightfully so, because you're right. Like, I think we all had that same experience in that opening. We're like, you know what? Actually, they might be onto something. And then, where you check out, I think is dependent on you individually. So I almost picked that, but I actually picked the scene that Jamie mentioned a minute ago, and that is when he lights the flare to help all the people out of the flooded building.
Yeah.
Because my favorite thing about the movie is Batman's arc, is starting believing he's vengeance and ending realizing he has to be more than that. And he has to be a hero and he has to help people. It's not enough to beat up the bad people. He has to help the good people. And I think that is such a great idea for a movie, because I've said it before. I get frustrated where sometimes Batman is so cool that he forgets to act like a hero. And we can't forget that Batman's a hero. He wants to do good things. He wants to help people. And that aspect of this movie seemed to be a response to that. And I really liked that. So yeah, the end when he's not beating ass and he's not trying to scare anyone. He's just trying to help the people who need it. We don't see enough of that. And I liked that this movie took a moment to show that.
You kind of need to make the choice if Batman is going to remain in the shadows and sort of be that, that urban legend creature, or if he's going to come out in the public and be seen by everyone, which he does in this movie. And yeah, it's a tough choice to make. It either works or it doesn't. Like to me in The Dark Knight Rises, it's just a bit odd seeing Batman fight in broad daylight in front of everyone. It works a little better in this one, but yeah, you just need to make that choice of, are you going to keep him hidden or not?
Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's everything. Best scene, worst scene, right? We did it.
We did.
Or worst scene, best scene. Yes, we did it. Cool choices all around and fun to chat about. And again, I think a good way for Jamie to get some final thoughts into the greater Batman film catalog. But it is Jamie's final episode, and you better believe we got some messages for him. So here we go. Let's check in with you, fine feathered finks, and crack open the Wayne Manor mailbox.
I invoke bathroom break.
It's time again for the Wayne Manor mailbox.
You've got mail.
Darren. What is a letter for me?
Maybe temporary.
She wrote a letter.
You're one hell of a messenger. This is all, Master Wayne.
All right, Jamie, get ready for lots of sweet messages for you. Hope you're ready.
Okay.
Okay. First one here comes from Justin. It says, "Where do I even begin? Having the pleasure to listen to your opinions over the past 9 years has been nothing short of an honor. The episode that got me hooked on Holy BatCast was the BVS Roundtable. That episode meant so much to me because, as you guys know, the movie was pretty hated. So in you guys, I finally found people who shared the opinions I did. That movie is my desert island movie. I could never betray my love for that movie, and I'm beyond grateful that I got to experience that with you, Andy, and Brendan. Whenever I think of The Dark Knight Returns, I can't help but think of you. I love your unabashed love for the movie. You've been such a happy spot in my life ever since I started listening to you guys. Thank you for bringing me and so many other countless moments of joy over the past 12 years. I couldn't be more happy for you and what you're doing, this all for the right reasons. I hope you enjoy your time with your son's competitions, spending time with your wife, and of course, pickleball, all while having the twins away at college. I hope, if anything, anytime a big DC movie drops, like Supergirl or Clayface, Andy can pass along your thoughts or attach a 2-minute voice note. I don't want to come across as nagging, but I do hope that you know you'll be missed. I'll stop rambling. I can never say thank you enough, Jamie. Instead of saying something lame like "this isn't goodbye, but see you later," I will say that I hope we get a Philip Rivers send-off a couple years down the line. You can explain that to the rest of the gang. Best wishes, Justin. P.S. Lawrence Fishburne as Roz would have gone hard. And then he also attached a photo of the bat hangers.
I feel like I want to hear a lot about the bat hangers in the next hour or so. Yeah,
I think you probably
You
will.
got yourself to blame.
yeah, that's true. Some actually sent me bat hangers for Christmas a few years ago. I don't know. Tell you about that.
Geez, that was a long time ago.
I still have them too. I haven't thrown them away as much as I've thought about it. I just look at them and shake my head because they're in my closet. But thank you for the message. I appreciate it. This is one of those, I should take this moment to say never. I'm not going to say I'm never, ever going to do the show again. It's just, I have other things that I need to focus on in life. If I haven't told everybody yet, my son made the Junior Olympics. So in a couple of weeks, we're driving down to Alabama for him to compete in Junior Olympics. So that's a really big deal for us. It just got to spend more time with the family. Got to focus on some mental and physical health things. And, I was just telling Andy while we were in a brief pause there, I saw 3 people at pickleball today that I haven't seen since the fall because they're snowbirds. They go south for the winter, and they came back and they said they barely recognized me because I lost so much weight. So there's reasons that I'm doing this. But thank you for the message. It's much appreciated from the heart. Thank you.
Awesome. Next message from Connor. It says, "Hey, Holy BatCast team. I want to congratulate Jamie on many years of service to the Holy BatCast family and wish him the best of luck on his retirement from podcasting. I always enjoyed your takes on here and real fans and feel you always bring a unique perspective and nuance to any discussion. I wanted to ask if you had a favorite episode from the show or moment that sticks out to you as something you'll remember forever. Thanks for all the hours of entertainment and laughs, and don't forget to keep the bat signal lit, Connor. P.S. Whenever I watch Batman Returns, I will always think of Jamie when I see those damn bat hangers."
Oh, it's my legacy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So, a specific episode or memory of the show that sticks out to you, Jamie?
I've got a lot of great memories of the show. The thing that I genuinely appreciate the most of having done this is making the friends that I've made along the way and growing existing friendships. Because I've mentioned before, Andy, I think you and I have gotten closer as we've done this show. We've always been friends since we've known each other, but I think we've just gotten closer having done this together for as many years as we have. Brendan, you and I have gotten really close, despite what the public image of us may be. And F you for sending me the bat hangers. That was just cool.
That's got to have at least been a decade ago.
Has it been that long?
It's probably. It's been 10 years this year since I joined the show.
Yeah. It was in this house that I got them, and I moved into this house June of 2016. So you might be pretty close.
Might have been that first Christmas, or at least 2017.
Yeah. Okay, so it's been a minute. Time flies when you're having fun, I guess. But favorite specific episodes, I got to go with the ones with Rich, man. He's such a great guest. He's, I'm proud to call him friend. Again, growing these friendships. He was a guest on that show, that first episode, and I bowed out because I feel like I'm terrible doing like interview style shows, and I've always regretted not being on that first one. And Rich and I have become friends. We've never met in person, but we chat about various things, not often, we're not chatting on a weekly basis or anything, but he's been an awesome guest. He's brought so much information and value to this show, and I really love those episodes. And that's why I wanted to get him on the last episode, is because I told him and I told Andy he's been the favorite guest that I've ever had on the show. And we've had some great ones. Don't get me wrong. I love the other guests we've had. They've been great, and I've gotten friendships out of those too. But Rich is just, it was a special one for me because I got so much information that I never would have gotten without him. So those have been my favorite episodes, honestly.
Nice. Great. Moving forward, next episode is from Jason. It says, "Hey, Holy BatCast. I wanted to send a huge thanks to Jamie for all of his years on the show. My kids are going into high school in the next year or so, and your podcast has been the soundtrack to years of driving them around, getting stuff done around the house, family trips, etc. Hopefully you all know how much you're appreciated. Good luck with pickleball." Jason.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Pickleball is going well most of the time. Some days I have slumps and I feel like crap, but today I played great. I can tell you that much.
You know what? When pickleball goes the way of racquetball in the 80s, you'll come crawling back, and I'll be waiting.
All the racquetball players from the 80s do play pickleball now.
I'm sure. That's why you said it's an old person sport.
It is.
Racquetball in the 80s, and now they're in their 80s.
Racquetball players have switched over. People who are too old to play competitive tennis have switched to pickleball. I mean, even Andre Agassi is a pickleball player now. What's that tell you?
Hey, Jamie, I got a gift for you. This is one from the Objective Geek, Chris.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. He goes, "Hey, Holy BatCast crew. Hope all is well with you and your families. I figured I'd make Jamie sit up and work through a few last questions."
Always got to make with the work, don't you? Always.
Yeah. Yep. He makes you work for it.
I feel like not only is this my last episode, I feel like I'm getting my diploma and graduating from Objective Geek school.
Number one, what are some life lessons you've taken away from different Batman stories? For me, Batman Begins is full of them. It's not who I am, but what I do that defines me, or people need a dramatic example to shake them out of apathy. These really hit for me, and it's not enough to just be a good person, but you have to be actionable in your goodness. It reminds me of the Bible verse, "Faith without work is dead." Number two, from what you all know of how Snyder wanted to finish Justice League 2 and 3, what do you think of it? And how do you think the DCEU would have been affected by it? I still hope to see it one day in animation. Number three, manga versus anime. Jim Lee recently talked about how much more successful manga is, and I think that comes down to three things. Number one, manga titles are a single canon or version made by a single writer artist. Unlike US Comics, which has thousands of versions, one version allows more attachment to the characters, and a long story format resembles more of a fantasy story hero's journey. Number two, the animated adaptations, anime, are pretty faithful to the original manga, unlike adaptations of comics, where every creator wants to put their own twist on characters. Three, manga are typically weekly, which is honestly not good for the creators and often affect their physical and mental health. But man, I find it hard to read monthly titles. That would be like watching an episode of A Night on the Seven Kingdoms once a month. So my questions regarding this: what do you think about the difference I laid out? Would you like to see a world where US Comics adopt some manga tendencies? If Batman was to start over with one canon continuity with one writer and one artist, who would you choose? I would choose Paul Dini, and Greg Capullo. This is just my attempt to get you guys into anime. Sorry, not sorry for the long email, but I had to for Jamie's last one. Jamie, it's been a true joy hearing you over these dozen or so years. It was great when I got to be on an episode reviewing Aquaman, and I wish you and your family much joy. As a Chiefs fan, when the Raiders beat the Chiefs, as they do once every 4 years, I won't be upset, but I will genuinely hope you're happy. Unless it's a playoff game, but we both know the Raiders aren't making the playoffs anytime soon. All the best, Chris. All right, Chris. So, number one, any life lessons taken from Batman's stories?
I mean, just in general, Batman is inspirational, right? I mean, he inspires us to be at our best, to be good people, to do the right thing, even when it's not the easy thing, to persevere, to fight through difficulty, to struggle through life and the difficulties that it throws in front of us, and just, get knocked down, get back up, fight through it, find a way to come out victorious in any situation that life throws in your way. I think Batman is inspirational in that regard. So to me, that's the life lesson to learn from Batman is, to Galaxy Quest, right? Never give up, never surrender. It's just the way that Batman fights through everything that, at least for me, inspires me to do a little bit better in my life and to fight through the things that I find difficult and make me want to break down and quit sometimes. If I think, what would Batman do in this situation? And as silly as it may sound, even at my age, to be inspired by a fictional character may seem ridiculous, but that's what I take away from it.
So are you saying that he should take a whiskey drink and then a cider drink and then a vodka drink and then a lager drink?
That's not at all what I'm saying, because that song makes me want to hit people with Brendan's bat hangers he sent me.
Well, you just quoted it, so.
I guess.
Did you hear yourself?
I did, but that was not at all intentional.
I was about to burst into Danny Boy.
Yeah. Awesome. Number 2, what do you think about what we know about Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3?
I honestly can't place specific details on it now. I haven't, had a lot of focus on it for a few years. All I can say is I hope someday the vision gets realized and we get to see completion in some measure, whether it be a graphic novel or an animated version, or, in the luckiest scenario, we get some kind of a live action version of it. I don't know if any of that is likely, but you know what? We thought the Snyder version of Justice League wasn't going to be very likely, and look what happened there. So never say never. Yeah. But that's where I'm at. Is I would love to see it realized at some point. I just, I'm going to move on until somebody gives me a reason to look back.
Yeah, I think an animated version would be ideal. To at least see the completion of that story. I think that would be amazing. Who knows, but it would be very cool. I will say that, I think that would be the end. That would have been the end of the DCEU, because it always felt like there was an end game. It wasn't something that was just going to go on in perpetuity. So I think that was the whole point, to kind of have their Return of the King or final episode. But yeah, I would have loved to have seen it too. Although, we just talked about it. I don't know how I'd feel about a whole movie of the Nightmare, because as you heard, I'm not a huge fan of it anyway. Yeah. And then finally, manga. Do you think that, Batman or DC could work in the manga model?
I suppose it could. I mean, we've done Batman in an anime style with Batman Ninja. There's 2 parts. I still haven't seen the second one. The first one wasn't necessarily my jam, but it certainly has its fans out there. I've never read any manga stuff. Anime, I have a fairly limited experience, as I find most of it doesn't really speak to me. Other than Macross Saga, baby, that Robotech, I'm telling you, y'all missed out on that one. That was a great one. But do I think it would work in that model? Sure. I don't see why not.
Yeah, I think it's interesting though, because based on what he's saying is it's one creative team for the entire run. What happens when that also feels like it would have an end, and I feel like, well, Batman will never have an end. It'll go on forever. So I just don't think you could do it that way, because it's Batman, right?
Well, I mean, everybody's kind of got well, not everybody, but a lot of people have toyed with the idea over the years of Superman, Batman telling that last story. So in that regard, you could, and then just have another creative team run with it for a few years after that and kind of do the same thing. So yeah, I think it would work. I think people would be, tuned in for that, especially if they know there's going to be, even if it's not a version they like, they know they might not be too far down the road from a version that they do. But if I was going to pick, even though I think his writing has not been amazing in the later years as it was in the early years, I would go with Frank Miller with Jim Lee as the artist.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would go Paul Dini and Jim Lee, but start 30 years ago, because they're both getting older.
Mine would have been Paul Dini and Jason. Is it Fabok?
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, awesome. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it, man. Even though you've made me work a lot, it's always been appreciated. And the Chiefs' reign's almost over. Be patient. The Raiders are coming up.
Next message here is from Brian B. It says, "Hey guys, hope things are going well. Sorry for the email so close to my last one, but I wanted to make sure I sent one more before Jamie goes on retirement. Since Jamie loves humorous moments in movies, my question is this. What are moments in Batman movies that make you laugh every time you see them? Mine would be, in no particular order, Alfred's exasperated delivery after Bruce couldn't lift the log that fell on him, Lucius giving Coleman Reese a wake-up call, Alfred saying, 'Well, I diapered your bottom, so I better well ought to.' And the number one with a bullet is the Joker shooting Bob. There are many others, but those are my favorite 4. Secondly, after The Last Jedi came out, I sent a question to the mailbag about Jamie's hatred, and he responded, 'I'll let everyone know on my last show.' Well, sir, the bill has come due, and I'm here to collect. Think of it like John Wick getting the marker in JW2. As always, thanks for the hard work. And Jamie, I wish you a safe retirement, as well as thank you for your 10 years of Holy BatCast and Please Rewind, which was also a great show. Best of luck, and I hope the Raiders get it together for you. Brian." Thanks, Brian. Okay. Well, so any funny parts in Batman movies that stick out to you, Jamie?
There have been a few. I mean, obviously, there's plenty of them in '66. No shortage there, especially the shark moment. As I said, that makes me laugh. The bit in Begins where Bruce is knocked out by the scarecrow gas, and Lucius and Alfred are in the room, and he's like, you know how it is. You're at a party, having a good time. People start passing around the weaponized hallucinogens. I find that scene pretty funny. The scene with the log you were just talking about is pretty good. Even though I know it might irk some people, the bit in Dark Knight Rises where Selina comes in with the bat pod and blows away Bane and says, I don't think I have the same opinion about guns that you do, or whatever the line is. I've always found that mildly amusing. So over the years, there have been plenty of fun ones that I just think some of them are out of place. Some of the stuff in the theatrical Justice League is just aggravating. Batman and Robin is pure aggravation, start to finish. So yeah, there have been some good ones.
Before we move on, Brendan, any funny Batman moments that you want to share?
Yeah, Jamie kind of covered like some of the ones. Yeah, like you can't even lift a bloody log. That's funny. Yeah, pretty much the ones that Jamie mentioned. I can't think of any off the top of my head that haven't already been mentioned.
I'll pull one, and it's from Brendan's least favorite part of Batman 89 is when he says, "You were a vicious bastard, Rutelli, and I'm glad you're dead." That does kill me. I love it.
I don't hate that scene. It's just, I had to pick something.
Yeah. I also love, because it's such like a subtle funny, but when at the beginning of The Dark Knight, when Alfred goes, "A dog, sir," and he goes, "It was a big dog."
That's a good one. Yeah. Should be fine against cats. That was a pretty good one.
Yeah. And then Last Jedi, Brian, good pull. I forgot about that. Sorry, Jamie. You got to give us something. I know it could be its own episode, and we don't want to do that, but I would love to hear it.
So I pretty much have the problem with The Last Jedi that most of the people that have big problems with Rise of Skywalker have. And that's that it went so far out of its way to cancel everything that was set up in the previous movie, some of it even trying to be funny in the process. And it was just going out of its way to be different and just removed itself too far from any Star Wars that I know. Because thematically speaking, most of the Star Wars movies have, at least in the Skywalker saga, they have a certain feel. And Rian Johnson went out of his way to detach that, while at the same time not really doing anything particularly original. He was still tugging on the same damn things that people complained about J.J. Abrams doing with, throwbacks and nostalgia and, wink, wink, nudge, nudge from this scene and that scene. He was still doing that. He was just doing it in more of a tongue-in-cheek almost kind of way in certain parts. And I just did not appreciate how he did that movie, how he tried to just crush everything that was set up by JJ. And JJ even tried to come back around to it. And I think that's why so many people have problems with Rise of Skywalker, is because JJ was trying to right the ship that Rian Johnson sank. And I just cannot get behind that movie. I did watch it a second time. I hated it just as much the second time. Just like Batman and Robin, if I never watch that goddamn movie again, it will be too soon. And I don't want anything to do with it. And, you know, for all you people that love it out there, more power to you. But I cannot join you in that ship. I cannot.
Well, great. Thank you for sharing. I love it. And I mean, I get what you're saying. I get it. Cool. All right. Next email is from Jay Yaws, our dear pal. He says, since I started listening to Holy BatCast, I've come to make countless friends and meet like-minded, passionate fans of Batman, DC, and movies. Jamie was one of the very first, if not the first, and I'd like to thank him for the times we've podcasted together, interacted with each other on social media, and enjoyed celebrating our favorite heroes however we could. More than that, I want Jamie to know that I've always enjoyed hearing his perspectives on comics and film, and above all, hearing about how much he loves his family. While I'll miss hearing you on a regular basis, I know you'll always be around to geek out with everyone. That you recognize the need to focus on family and your own life, I have nothing but respect that you're willing to end such an impressive run on your own terms. To paraphrase The Dark Knight Returns, this will be a good end. Good enough. Jay,
you're a heck of a human being, man. You're a great friend. You're one of the people I'm proud to say that I know because of doing this show and other shows. And, you know, you've had me on your podcast, the comic, I think it was Comics Now, I think is what it was called. I don't know. It's been a minute. Sorry if I'm getting that wrong, but I always enjoyed being on there with you. You're just a wonderful person, salt of the earth, Jay. Glad to know you, glad to call you friend. And thank you very much.
Yeah, Jay's awesome. We love you, Jay. Even though you didn't say you love me and Brendan, that's fine, but we love you anyway.
Well, I mean, you too.
We're not dying. We'll still be here.
Tip of the hat to Jay, because I'm telling you, that cat is like an encyclopedia of comic book knowledge. There are so few questions you can throw at that guy that he cannot give you a response for, man. His knowledge is second to none as far as the geek community. And, you know, hats off to you for that, because you don't see enough of that anymore.
He's become one of our invisible hosts, because every once in a while we go, you know what? I don't know if Detective Chimp ever teamed up with Blue Devil. I'm not sure, but do you know who would know? Jay Yaws would know.
Jay would know. Jay would know.
All right, moving on. This one is from Brandon. It says, hey, Holy BatCast crew, happy 500 episodes. I've been listening to you guys for a while now, and I love all the content that you do. But this email is mostly for Jamie. Sorry, Andy. Sorry, Brendan. Jamie, I want to say congratulations on everything you've been doing for yourself and doing things that you want to do. I want to thank you for how much you've helped me whenever I've heard your voice on the show or on Real Fans, or even the first time I heard you was on The Princess and the Frog. You've helped me with my anxiety attacks, just hearing your voice and making me laugh with your views. If I ever met you in person, I'd probably give you a hug and have a beer on me. I'm not very good at pickleball. I've never even played it. So thanks for all that you've done and for helping me. I'll miss you dearly, Brandon. All right. Oh, P.S. I've also been working through the old Please Rewinds, and every time someone has a good idea, I steal your bit and say, there's my wallet right there.
Yeah. I miss doing Rewind too, man. The death knell for that one was we recorded an entire, we got Guy Milks to sit down and watch Kill Bill Volume 1. And then we were talking about doing Volume 2. And then we did the podcast. It went on for, I want to say, probably the better part of 2.5 hours. And Tim had something go wrong and corrupted the audio on it, and it couldn't be published.
Oh, no.
And that was the last thing we ever did for that show. And it's not because, you know, Guy is great, Tim is great, you know, hats off to both of those guys, you know, in the podcast world, and, you know, just being friends in real life, both great human beings. But that was kind of the death knell for that show. We're just fed up with it.
I never
we
knew that.
We couldn't get Guy to talk about Kill Bill for another 2.5 hours because he doesn't love that movie the way I do. So.
I never knew that, and that's so funny because that's what happened with The Nightlight. Is I recorded a really, really great episode with Andy and two of my other friends around the time that Betty White died. It was a big Golden Girls retrospective, and right near the end of the episode, I had a brownout and lost all the audio, and that was the last thing I did for The Nightlight.
Oh, I remember.
It's so disheartening. It's just devastating. Because you can't recapture it. Like you just can't. And yeah, it's so, I never knew that. That's insane.
So for those of you who have listened to Rewind and maybe miss it and want to check out something, I'll at least give the shout out. Guy Milks does a podcast with Jeremy Lloyd called Get to the Podcast, like Get to the Chopper, but it's Get to the Get to the Podcast. And they basically go back and review like old 80s and 90s action films, like Chuck Norris or Steven Seagal or stuff like that. And it's a blast.
One
Those
out for
two
Chuck
are a
Norris
great
too.
time. What's that?
I said pull one out for Chuck Norris too.
Yeah, gosh, I heard about that while I was pickleballing today, so that kind of sucked. I grew up with Chuck, man. Dad used to take me to all his movies. But anyway, yeah, check out Get to the Podcast. They having a good time over there. That's a good one. So if you miss Please Rewind, that's kind of your filler for that.
Shit, guys, I haven't been recording.
You better be kidding me.
I can see the red dot. I can see.
All
I was
right.
about to hit this cat with a beer bottle.
All right. Anyway, onward. Next one is Jeff. It says, hello and happy 500th episode. Congratulations on an incredible run. I started listening back in 2015 and have been an avid fan ever since. As a lifelong Batman fan, I was thrilled to find a show where people could admire, analyze, and genuinely gush about the character as much as I do, and you do it better than anyone. I especially get excited whenever a new movie commentary comes out, and believe me when I say I sit down and watch the movies along with you every time. What I love most about the show is how your admiration for Batman, his commitment to justice, fairness, doing the right thing, and finding the good in everyone really reflects in the kind of people you seem to be. Batman isn't just a comic book character, he's a role model who reminds us to look for the good in ourselves and to find ways to express it even when it's not easy. In many ways, you all embody that spirit. So truly thank you for the years of great conversations, thoughtful insights, and for sharing your passion with all of us. And a big congratulations to Jamie on your retirement. While it's bittersweet to see you step away, your decision to prioritize family, mental wellness, and overall well-being is incredibly admirable. Thank you for all the years of honest critiques, tough love, meaningful moments, and countless laughs. You've made a lasting impact on everyone here. In my book, you've been a true superstar in the podcast world, and we're all grateful for everything you've shared with us over the years. Can't wait for all your future guest appearances. Wishing you nothing but happiness and fulfillment in this next chapter. Jeff from Gainesville, Florida.
Thank you, Jeff. Much appreciated. And again, never say never, but no plans for the immediate future.
All right. And thank you for all the kind words about the show in general, for 500 episodes. Yeah, really appreciate that, Jeff. All right. Next one, Michael Masunas, another old friend. It says, hey, guys. Man, guys, talk about a long time no talk. I'm so glad I was able to catch the amazing Richard Citrone episode, which was amazing, and to find out this was the big 500 and Jamie's last episode. I would have missed sending this email to the guy who'd made me laugh so hard for so many years and say goodbye to the best podcast duo in the game. It would have just been another regret in my life, but thank the Lord that's not the case. I get to say goodbye to Jamie on the air, and he gets to hear these words that Andy is going to read to him. But I'm not sure when my journey started with you guys with listening to Holy BatCast and Real Fans, but I know it was for sure around Man of Steel. During that time, I always found Jamie to be the quiet, cool guy. And I don't know if you've ever seen my favorite Bruce Willis film of all time called The Last Boy Scout, but in that film, Bruce is quite cool and he gives the greatest one-liners in any Willis film of his entire career. And that's what Jamie reminds me of. He always says the right thing at the right time. He'll always have the best lines at the best moments, and he will never get mad when saying it. But when he does get mad, grab your popcorn and your choice of drink because you're in for a ride. I want to thank both you and Andy from the bottom of my heart. During my life, I've always loved Batman since I was 3 years old, and now I'm 46. Many times through the years, I always felt that Andy was my spirit animal, if you will, on how he feels on everything in general and his attitude. Not just about Batman, of which we agree about 99% of the time, but his attitude on how I always approach movies and TV. For example, I always say the line, no one will ever come in your house and take these movies away from you, so it's okay. When it comes to remakes, etc., you always have the original. So I appreciate, Andy, that you always have your head on your shoulders and you never let the drama of the world take down the bat signal. One thing I'll always take away from Jamie is his magical line about menus. Now, I know Andy might have been the one to say it first, but Jamie has lived that motto through the years. That's why God created menus, because everyone has different tastes. It's close, Michael. It's that's why restaurants have menus, but that's okay. Ever since I heard that, I've lived my life differently, not just with movies and music, but life in general. And it's helped me not be a jerk to people who don't feel like I feel, looked at things the way I look at things, and love the things I love. It was the best advice I've ever heard on any podcast, and it's forever imprinted in my heart. I hate to say it, but I used to be a huge jerk if you didn't like The Karate Kid, and this line helped me re-examine myself and change me to be a better person. Jamie, I'm going to miss your dry humor. I always get excited when I know you're going to be on an episode because I knew I was in for a fun ride. It would be some comment that would make me spit my drink out, or a saying that would make me think of things differently than the public would, because you never cared about offending anyone. You were just being real to yourself, and that's rare. I'll be honest, in my 20 years of listening to podcasts and also being a podcaster, retiring as a podcaster and starting back up, because Jamie, you can't ever really retire from being a podcaster. You will find out. I used to listen to about 30 podcasts, but over the past 20 years, I've dropped down to 4. I only listen to Holy BatCast, Real Fans, and sometimes the Now Playing podcast, and then my own so I can check for mistakes. That's it. The reason you guys have kept my list, because you guys are like family, and I can't stop hanging out with you and checking in on what movies are good and which movies suck, and when I want to hang out with Batman and what he's been up to. Even though I'm not religiously listening to podcasts anymore, I'm glad when I am, you guys will always be on my go-to list. Well, that's enough for now. I'm sure there are plenty of emails to get through, so with that being said, Jamie, let me leave you with some words of wisdom that fits your personality. True happiness is like peeing your pants. Everyone can see it, but only you can feel its warmth. God bless you, brother.
Jesus.
God bless you, brother. Take care. Masunis out. All right, Masunis. Michael, great to hear from you as always. And yeah, just thank you so much for your friendship and your support and all the kind things that you said. But Jamie, anything to add?
Thank you so much, Michael. I'll just leave you with this. Karate Kid 1 and 2 is still a Hall of Fame double feature.
Who doesn't like the Karate Kid? Because come on now.
Well, there's some things later on that I can't get on board with. Like
I'm talking about the original, but you're right. 1 and 2 are both great.
Yeah, I mean, I actually have a hard time watching 1 and then not watching 2 right after, because I think they just go perfectly hand in hand. But when we start getting into 3 and 4 and Cobra Kai and Legends, I mean, there's still good stuff to like in all of those, but it's a lot tougher. It's nowhere near those first 2 movies, in my opinion.
Fair enough. All right, next one here is from Austin. It says, "Holy 500 episodes, Batman. Let me start out by saying congratulations. You've hit a monumental milestone. I've been an avid listener since 2014. Back then, I didn't really have too many people that were interested in hearing or talking about Batman. So when I stumbled upon your podcast, it felt like I finally found someone who had the same interest as I did and share many of the same opinions about Batman that I did. You guys have truly been a show that I've looked forward to listening to for over 10 years, and a major reason for that is Jamie. I've always respected your no-nonsense takes on much of what we as both DC and Batman fans have endured these past 10 years, as well as your humor that helps balance out the show. You'll definitely be missed going forward, and I hope to hear you again from time to time, as I'm sure many of us in the future will wonder what Jamie would have to say about this. So with all that being said, I have one final question. I've heard everyone's answer to why you've become a Batman fan, but over the years, what has kept you a fan of this character? As I grow older, my answer changes, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts. All the best, and happy 500, Austin. Awesome. Thanks, Austin. And I guess the question is, you became a Batman fan, but what keeps you a Batman fan? Jamie?
So in my case, it's a strange combination of, I love the familiarity of the things that I see in Batman that I like, while at the same time finding new things to appreciate when somebody comes up with a new idea for Batman. Not all the new ideas are necessarily going to work. Like, Tom King wasn't my jam on the Batman comics, but, there are things that come up with Batman from time to time where I was like, I never thought of that. That's pretty cool. I like the way that they approached that, or I like what they did here, or I like how Batman reacted to this situation. That's not what I anticipated. So the fact that Batman and so many of the DC characters, Batman obviously is our favorite, but there's other DC characters we truly love, and even Marvel characters that we love. Andy and I are big X-Men fans. Brendan, I don't know if you've ever really gotten into Marvel as far as like comics or any of that the way that we do. I don't know if we've ever talked about it.
Not really. I mean, the movies were my Marvel thing. I never really read any of the comics.
So you're like most other people where you haven't read a comic book. Got it. But anytime they can do something different with a character, especially the one that I love above all others, I always appreciate that. But again, at the same time, I always like getting that little. That's what I love about Batman, is that right there. I like, give me some more of that. So I know that's a weird cop-out answer, but that's kind of how I see it.
That's fair. Brendan, what about you?
It's something I've never really thought about, to be honest. I guess a huge chunk of it's nostalgia. Like, whenever I talk about Batman or watch Batman or read Batman, I'm a kid again. It's one of the biggest parts of my childhood was developing my love for Batman. I mean, particularly in the last 10 years, it's given me you guys. And by extension, the Real Fans group and all the friends that I've made through that group. Yeah, I mean, I'll always love the character, and the fact that we have this outlet to talk about him. Like I said, it's not just talking about the character; it's catching up with friends, and it's sort of taken it to another level, I guess, in the last decade or so.
Yeah, honestly, I agree with both of you guys. It's hard to pinpoint it because you've never really thought of it in that terms. But yeah, it's like I grew up loving Batman, so there's the nostalgic piece of it. I still love Batman and his world, so it's just a fun hobby to explore Batman media, new and old, and collect Batman stuff. And yeah, like part of it still makes me feel like a kid, but part of it still just brings me joy. And the fact that then it has brought people like you guys into my life and this show and everything, like being a Batman fan is just part of who I am, and I've embraced that, and I don't think that'll ever change. So awesome. All right, next email here. This is from Benjamin. It says, to the members of the BatCast family, but especially the Dark Knight Returns himself, Jamie Drewley. Speaking of The Dark Knight Returns, I thought this would be a perfect question for Jamie as he departs the pod and moves into the future. First, you'll be missed. I've been listening religiously for over a decade, and not hearing your voice on the show will take some adjustment. But I completely understand and support your prioritizing other sides of your life. In fact, I too struggle with balancing creative projects and the rest of my life, so good on you, Jamie. Anyway, for my question, Jamie, you're of course all about The Dark Knight Returns, and I am personally a huge fan of Batman Beyond. I know you're not a big fan of the latter, but in the spirit of the similarity between the two, what is Jamie Drewley's definitive version for the future of Batman? Comparing The Dark Knight Returns to Beyond, I heard a fascinating take once that Frank Miller's future is clearly specific to the 80s, and it's Miller's looking out his window in New York City, as he puts it, whereas Batman Beyond is in any future. Hence the almost fantasy level of Jack Kirby future technology and architecture. It's Batman meets Blade Runner. I know how hard it is sometimes to answer big questions on the spot, so I thought I would add that second point as well. Maybe you can comment on that if the initial question is too much. Again, Jamie, as a pothead and a Bat fan, you're killing me, Smalls, but in the best way. You've become something else entirely, Mr. Drewley, a legend. Best Bat wishes, and I guess the rest of you guys are pretty cool too, Benjamin. Now I'll take it. That's fine. Thanks, Benjamin.
Today's not about us.
It's not. It's fine. Listen, I was a middle child. I'm used to it never being about me. Anyway, so Dark Knight Returns versus Batman Beyond. That's a really interesting angle I've never considered. But what do you think, Jamie?
I mean, certainly there's parallels, maybe not necessarily as far as how timeline and technology and what have you go. I've never looked at it in the perspective that was just laid out there. I've never looked at Batman Beyond as a Batman meets Blade Runner. I mean, that's interesting because obviously there's some similar tech that shows up in both of those as far as like the cars and things like that. And I love Batman and I love Blade Runner. So why I don't love Batman Beyond is puzzling to me. And again, I don't dislike Batman Beyond as a whole. It's just for me, it's that whole thing that goes back to, and I have this with most of my characters, the Bruce Wayne version of Batman is what I like. It's not a different version of Batman. It's not the Dick Grayson Batman. It's not the Terry Batman. I like Steve Rogers Captain America versus the Winter Soldier or the Falcon. I could go on and on talking about this. These are just the versions that I know and I love. And, Green Lantern is another big one. Hal is my guy. I literally wore a shirt to pickleball today that was the Jordan sneakers logo with like the dunking Jordan, but it's Hal holding a lantern.
That's really cool.
It's one of my favorite shirts. I love it.
I have one of those, but it's Michael Myers with a pumpkin.
Nice. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with Jon Stewart or Jessica Cruz. I really like a lot, or Guy Gardner's not my favorite. We know that. Kyle Rayner is not my favorite, but there's great Green Lanterns, but just Hal's my guy. So I get an attachment to a particular version of a character, so it's hard for me to make an adjustment when it's not that character being that hero, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. No, I get it.
And thank you for the kind words, by the way.
All right. Excellent. Next message here is from our old pal, Julian Chan. And it's less of a message, more of an image, but I wanted to give the heads up because I will add this image to the episode. He did a nice commemorative episode 500 cover for us that is in honor of you, Jamie. And I've already sent it to you, but it's pretty great. The Wrath of Solomon Drewley.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this, you've probably already seen it, but Julian continues to pump out amazing work, and this one is a blast, Julian. Great job.
Got shouted out by Zack Snyder.
By Zack Snyder the other day.
Did Zack credit him?
Zack, he didn't, but it is Julian's artwork.
That's awesome.
He said that he found, because he was banging on about the 5th anniversary and everything, and he said he found this awesome fan artwork. I'm paraphrasing online, and was gushing about it. And I was looking, like, I'm 95% sure that's Julian's artwork, and I didn't want to tag him just in case. And right. I messaged Julian. He's like, yeah, that's me. And then I tagged him in it, but yeah, I don't think Zack has yet.
Okay, cool. I get it. Sometimes you find fan artwork, you have no idea where it came from. So, yeah. But that's awesome.
Hang on. Julian, I just want to say shout out. Thank you for all the great artwork you provided over the years, opinions, all that stuff. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you.
Awesome. Agreed. All right. Next message is our old pal Stuart from Guernsey. It says, hey, Jamie, it's Stuart. It broke my heart to hear that you're leaving the show. You guys have been a part of my life for 11 years, slightly over a quarter of the time I've been on Earth. It'll feel very strange not hearing your voice on the podcast anymore. I really hope something will tempt you to come back on the show for the odd guest appearance, but I understand life changes, so I wish you the best of luck in the future and your desire to be a professional pickleball player. I also wanted to say that when I first viewed the Lanterns trailer, I couldn't believe what my eyes were seeing when the lantern hangers appeared. My instant thought was your reaction, and I couldn't help but laugh out loud. Anyway, here's to a good send-off. I hope 500 will be another one to remember. Stuart.
Stuart, man, you've been a great supporter for many years. Always great to hear you. Always great to get the messages from you. Thank you for all the kind things you've said over the years, for all the questions, all the interactions. Appreciate you. And let's just say that the hangers in that trailer aren't the only thing I did not like.
That's right. It's going to come up again, by the way. All right. Next message is from Mohammed. It says, hey, guys, I wanted to talk about Jamie. As mentioned before, I started listening to you guys back in 2018. And I've been in the journey right alongside with you since then. And Jamie has always been one of the highlights of my listening experience. His dry humor really works well for me and made it more enjoyable for me to listen to. And even if some of his takes are diabolical, I love how he has stood beside his takes. I have a deep affinity with Jamie because, like him, Ra's al Ghul is one of my favorite villains, and I'm hoping and praying that Gunn explores that side of Batman in The Brave and the Bold. All I can say is best of luck to you, Jamie, and I wish you the very best, you and your family. We'll miss your voice, and hopefully you can come back from time to time. I'll definitely be expecting you for the 1000th episode celebration. Oh, oof. With all my love, Muhammad Adil Jafar. P.S. I tried watching NFL, and I can't believe how you people watch that abomination of a sport. Watch the global sport that is football or soccer and start enjoying sports again. Wow, he's got a diabolical take all of his own, right for you, Jamie.
Yeah, everybody's got varying opinions. I've tried with soccer, man. I have. It's just I grew up around football. I played football. I've loved the Raiders since I was a like 12 or 13-year-old kid. Still love the Raiders to this day, even though they tend to break my heart way more often than not. It's part of me. It's in my genetic code to love it. It's a lot of America. It's in their genetic code to love it. So, I don't have anything against soccer. It's just not my thing.
I do. It's boring as shit.
He said that, not me.
Mind you, I'm with him on the NFL thing too. I can't get my head around it.
Well, all right. Moving on. Next one is from Jonathan Mercado. It says, "Greetings, Bat Brothers. Since listening to you guys since the fall of 2019, I was happy to be a part of the amazing podcast. The first film review I heard you cover was Joker. After hearing the various thoughts you had on the film, I realized I had found my Batman podcast. Jamie, your love for Batman always resonated with me, more specifically for The Dark Knight Returns. It was the first graphic novel I read when I was 7. Fast forward to this year, I will be turning 40 on the anniversary of the novel. 1986 was a great year for movies and The Dark Knight Returns. Jamie, I was going to ask this if we ever spoke together on an episode, so forgive me if you've shared this, but do you have any favorite panels from The Dark Knight Returns? My favorites are Batman with Carrie Kelly or on a horse, just to pick 2. Much love to you. You'll always be a member of the BatCast family. P.S. You also helped me make the decision to get off social media for my mental health, and I don't regret it. John." Thanks, John. And I'm sure you've mentioned favorite panels of The Dark Knight Returns, Jamie, but go ahead and remind us.
Yeah, I mean, most of the splash pages that are in that book, I think, are just incredible. I mean, Miller's artwork isn't going to work for everybody the way that it does for me, and I understand that. But I mean, some of the imagery that he puts out there, I think, is just legendary. I've got several T-shirts of Frank Miller's Batman hanging up in my closet that I wear from time to time. I try not to wear them a lot because I don't want to wear them down because they're my favorites. But favorite panels in there, gosh, the one that stands out to me most, I think, is Batman hitting Joker with those batarangs sticking out of his eye right before the showdown in the Tunnel of Love at the state fair or the carnival that they're at. Batman kicking Superman in the chin, I think, is fantastic. Just there's tons of great ones in there. I think probably my favorite one is probably my favorite shirt. And I told my wife, I want to be buried in this shirt. And that's the image of Batman with like his fists up and he's tattered and beaten and bruised and the costume's all torn up. And he just has this grit in his teeth. Like, we're going to keep going until you drop, that grim determination that we just know Batman has. I think that is an awesome image.
Exact image you're talking about.
Yeah. Very nice. All right, moving on. Next one is from Brian. It says, "I just wanted to start by thanking you for all that you do. 500 episodes to entertain some nerds on the internet is incredible. But Jamie, I need to thank you most of all. I started out as a fan of Disorder, but when you joined for Princess and the Frog, you were so fun and entertaining that I finally decided to give Holy BatCast a try, knowing that you'd be here too. Then after catching up with all those episodes, I moved on and listened to all of RF for RM and would nearly die from laughing so often. You very quickly became my favorite personality on the show, and the team of you and Andy is perfect. Almost as good as you going head-to-head with Brendan or Hunter. Sorry for the long message, but thank you for spending your time and energy talking into an internet box to give random people hours of entertainment. Now go enjoy your family, friends, pickleball, and those damn Raiders, who are my favorite team too. Brian Wolf."
Most Raiders fans do refer to them as those damn Raiders because, wow, it's been brutal for about 23 years now.
But look at that. Disorder brought people the Holy BatCast. That's new.
Yeah.
I feel like we didn't get a lot of crossover, honestly.
Yeah, I straight up invited myself on that episode too.
I don't think you invited yourself. You just said you were going to be on it. And we were like, oh, I guess so.
Yeah. I think when you guys started that, and I was just like, hey, yo, dibs on Princess and the Frog. And then however many months or years later it's like, okay, they're doing it.
Yeah.
That one had a lot of sentimental meaning, and I mentioned it on the show that was, I think, the first Disney princess movie I took my daughters to see in the theater.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, the first movie I took them to was Kung Fu Panda, and I don't remember if I think it was 1. That was the first movie I took them to in the theater, but that was their first Disney princess movie, and that movie got a lot of airtime in our house, buddy. A lot.
Nice.
And it's a great movie. Still a great movie.
Yeah, good movie.
It is. That was a fun one. Awesome. Next one here is from Mark Bickford. It says, "Hey guys, it's been a minute. Andy, congratulations on your new job and the big move. Brendan, congratulations on the arrival of Abigail. And Jamie, congratulations on your podcast retirement. Although I hope you'll drop by from time to time if we get a new movie or something. And congratulations to all of you for reaching episode 500. 2 hot takes to add to the mix. Oh, good. Number 1, Ben Affleck quitting as Batman had nothing to do with Joss Whedon. I went back and looked. The announcement that he wasn't going to direct the Batman came in February of 2017, months before the tragedy that befell Zack and his family. The same time they reported that, one of the trades said that WB was looking for a new, younger Batman, but of course they denied the hell out of it. I think that the reception of BVS really got to Ben and took the wind out of his sails. He was a pro and did his best for the initial filming of Justice League, but we know he was pretty much checked out by the time they got to the reshoots. Number 2, if Walter Hamada had gone the direction I think they were going to go with the DCEU, namely going towards Batman Beyondish with Michael Keaton as Bruce and Leslie Grace as Batgirl, essentially filling the role of Terry, I would have been completely down with that. The one hope I have for the WB buyout is that the new bosses work with Gunn and Safran to finish Batgirl and put it on streaming. And, of course, that Gunn and Safran stick around. Incidentally, I don't know if you're going to talk about the Lanterns teaser, but I love it. I think Kyle Chandler is doing a great job of presenting Hal as a test pilot without making him a jackass. I'm pretty sure the accent he's doing is essentially the Chuck Yeager West Virginia twang that test pilots have affected since that man broke the sound barrier, and the beat-up leather jacket is one I swear I've seen Hal wear in the comics dozens of times. Plus, I think they're going to attract the Sunday night prestige TV HBO crowd. And the more blatant effects will come out as we go through the summer. So I'm supportive and looking forward to it. One suggestion, when Supergirl comes out, maybe try to put together a mostly ladies episode to discuss it. If I recall, you did something similar with Wonder Woman. Catherine, Jess, maybe even Jamie's daughters if they're interested. Heck, if you decide to let Harley watch it, try recording her reaction. Again, congratulations on 500 episodes. Keep the oatmeal raisin cookie shining bright, Mark. All right, Mark, thank you so much for the message. And I guess real quick, I think that number 1, your hot take about Ben Affleck quitting before Joss Whedon, I don't think that's hot. I think that's correct. I think it was the reception of BVS that, as you put it, really took the wind out of his sails, and it was all downhill from there. So, yeah, I think that the Joss Whedon was just another factor where he's like, you know what, I'm done with this. So, yeah, anyway, sorry. Jamie, additional thoughts?
As far as like the Affleck thing with Batman?
Yes, and then I guess the Walter Hamada, when it was going to be like Michael Keaton is older Batman with Batgirl.
I mean, we'll probably never know with Batgirl. My understanding is they can't release that ever because of the tax write-off. But I'm still hoping somebody leaves a flash drive in an airport bathroom somewhere. You know, it can become like the Star Wars holiday special.
I would hope.
But I want to see the movie. I've wanted to see it since it was announced because I'm a big Batgirl fan. But
I know.
You know.
I still don't believe it was unwatchable. I don't believe that for a second.
No.
He also mentioned the Lanterns teaser.
I'm glad you loved it. I wish I did, but I don't, because I had concerns about this from things that I've seen and read going in, and watching that teaser trailer did not one damn thing to alleviate any of my concerns. I hope I'm wrong. I'm going to watch it. I love Green Lantern. I love Hal Jordan. I hope I'm dead ass wrong, and I hope the show proves me wrong. But I have seen nothing to alleviate my concerns about that show. Nothing.
I think it's a good teaser, but yes, we'd better get some actual Green Lanterning in this Green Lantern show. And right now they're playing coy, and that's fine. But if literally they're constantly skirting around it, that's going to be very frustrating. But to Mark's point, yeah, Kyle Chandler looks great in it, and Aaron Pierre looks great in it. So that's why I like it. Like the two of them,
he's dead right about Hal's jacket, by the way. He's spot on.
Yeah, the two of them are killing it. But like, you know, it's got to be a Green Lantern show.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, I told you guys in the group chat the other day that we have with Eric and Joe, I want WB to release a Panic trailer like they did with BVS. And
Yeah.
show me all the Green Lantern stuff that they're trying to hide from me. That's what I really want. I doubt I'm going to get that, but that's what I want.
Yeah. Brendan, thoughts?
I liked the Lanterns trailer. I mean, Jess liked it as well. It looked. I got sort of season 1 Reacher vibes from it, which probably isn't what you want from a Green Lantern show. But at the same time, that season, well, that Reacher in general is just awesome. But I think it looks. I think it looks good. It looks entertaining. I am of the hope / belief that they are holding back a lot of the the sci-fi Green Lanternness of it, to try and get that prestige Sunday evening, HBO audience, the kind of people who would see like a full-blown sci-fi epic and potentially go, not my thing. Whereas this could be a way to get them in, and then slowly introduce those elements, and they're already committed, and hopefully continue along the journey. So, Guy Gardner lives in this world, they've just announced that I can't remember the actor's name. I'm sorry that John
Aaron
Stewart.
Pierre.
Yeah, he's going to be in Man of Tomorrow. Like these sci-fi, these characters are all part of the same world. Like they have to incorporate those elements somewhere along the line. It's just going to be interesting to see how they do it.
Yeah. Yep, agreed. I still am holding out hope, but I completely understand the concerns, which is where I've been for a while now.
Yeah. I mean, look, the trailer is, from what the teaser showed us, it's exactly the show that they described they were going to make. Like, they haven't lied. It's exactly what they said. So, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. All right. Next message is from someone named Eric Carter.
Who?
Yeah, it says, Andy, Brendan, and especially Jamie. I cannot believe this day has come. When Jamie syncs up to the beloved movie cliche, I'm too old for this shit. Holy BatCast will truly not be the same without you, my friend. I'm so happy that through the show, the Real Fans group, and Batman in general, I've been able to build some incredible friendships. I most definitely include Jamie in this group and was honored to have him in our home for dinner before we left Colorado. Jamie is just as conversational and engaging as person as he is through my headset on the show, and I say without hesitation that I hope we get the opportunity to get together again someday in the near future. Until then, Jamie, enjoy your podcast retirement and many rounds of pickleball. I may just have to see if I can get a good bat hanger in your honor. Andy and Brendan, I know Jamie leaving isn't easy. I do, however, look forward to many more installments of BatCast from what is still the best show in the game. I love all you guys. Keep that bat signal lit and pointed skyward. Your bat brother, Eric Carter. The fire rises. TM. P.S. I still hate Batman 66. No, I'm just kidding about that part.
Eric, man, it was great meeting you when my son was out there for Junior Olympics a couple of years ago. Eric invited me into his home, his beautiful family, had dinner together, had some great conversation. Wonderful people. Eric, God bless you, man. Thank you for your friendship. Appreciate you. And just remember, they're called challengers because the Mustang is the champion.
Well, all right.
He understands that.
Great.
Nobody
sure
else may understand it, but he understands it.
I'm sure he does. No, thanks, Eric. We love you, buddy, and appreciate you chiming in. And you are definitely part of our Bat family. And I hope everyone knows it's all in good fun giving him crap about Batman 66. And then our final one comes from Eric's better half, Joe.
Did you deliberately save these two for last, or?
No, that's just the way it worked out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, Joe Fornerado, he says, wow, you're calling it quits at 500 episodes, retiring from all that podcast money. I got to get Andy to set up Eric with some info on pensions because he's clearly taken care of you those past 12 years. Good for you, man. You've definitely left your mark in the pantheon of Batman talk out there. We'll all miss hearing your voice of reason, especially. But in all seriousness, no matter how much you may have ranted about anything, which was never over the top or out of line, it was always with passion, and no one can ever argue with that. You were always honest and respectful, and that is why everyone has loved listening to you. It was always evident how great of a person you are on and off the air, and juggling the podcast with a family isn't easy. It's amazing that your kids are all grown up now when we have all been lucky enough to feel like we've gotten to know them since they were little. I loved hearing about their adventures as well as the occasional stories about your lovely wife, Kimbra, and even getting to hear her voice on an appearance. And I still think about her cupcakes every now and then. That's the
those
best
things
thing.
are so good.
That's the best thing about BatCast and this group in general. It's as great as the Bat Talk has been. You all have felt like family from the beginning, and it means the world to me that I can now comfortably call you guys my friends. Then there's Brendan. He's retiring next, right?
I ain't even mad. That's a good call. Well played, Joe.
Well done.
He says, anyway, congrats on an undoubtedly successful podcast career, and I look forward to chatting with you in the future, and definitely also welcome the inevitable pop-in return to the podcast in the future. I can't wait to see what crazy event will bring that on, Joe. Joe, thank you so much. And yeah, it's great hearing from you and Eric, and super grateful for you guys' friendship. And yeah, Jamie.
Absolutely. Joe, thank you so much. It's been great getting to know you over the last few years. Brother, all I can say is I got to get out to Jersey and you got to take me to Talercio's. I got to get in on those sandwiches because they look amazing. And I'm trying to figure out any excuse I can to get out there. Any excuse. So hook it up.
Well, awesome. That is it. We got through them. I can't believe it. We're closing the Wayne Manor mailbox. If you've got something for the Wayne Manor mailbox, you can send that to Holy BatCast at rf4rm.com. But a big thank you as always to everybody who took some time out of their busy lives to drop us a line, and especially to love on Jamie to make him feel appreciated as he closes this book for however long on his podcasting career. It was really, really special. And I'm really glad that everyone did that. So thank you.
Thank you for all the messages, guys. It's much appreciated. It means the world to me. Believe it or not, every single one of those from the heart. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Thank you.
Well, we need to share some final thoughts before we completely wrap this baby up. So I don't know, Jamie, maybe I'll give you the last word. Brendan, you want to say something as we wrap up our final episode with Jamie?
Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out.
Yeah, perfect.
No, of course not. Like, dude, you know, you're my other bat brother. So it's a shame that, you know, it's the last couple of years we haven't been on as many episodes together. I know the fictitious
Scheduling is a bitch anyway, but when you're trying to do it from across the world, man, it's another.
Yeah, I know the fictitious feud. We've gotten a lot of mileage out of it, but it honestly has just been scheduling.
Yeah, it has. Guys, for real, there is no bad blood between Brendan and I whatsoever. I'm proud to call him my friend, my brother. Love him to death. I got not a bad word to say about this guy. Not one.
So, you know, I'm sure Andy probably has many bad things to say about me, but I appreciate those words. But yeah,
it's not that hard, Jamie. There's a lot.
I'm trying to be graceful here, God damn it.
But you know, it's not going to be the same without you. And the episodes that I'm not on, I get a real thrill out of listening to you on the show, because it sort of takes me back to, you know, 2014, 2015, when I was just like everyone else. I was just a listener. And it still blows my mind that I had a look before, like right at the start, we were talking about 500, because in my mind, I joined close to around 200. That's how it felt. I had a look before. I joined in episode 46. So we've been in this together as a threesome for a very, very long time. And to lose one of the party sucks. But, you know, I respect your decision, and, you know, enjoy pickleball, my friend, because it seems to be that's your new vice now. So, you know, of course we're going to keep chatting, and, you know, it's not like you're dying, but, you know, hopefully you will pop in occasionally, you know, if there's a big movie release or something or other. And I'm still, I'd still like to twist your arm to get you to do a Real Fans for the 25th anniversary of Moulin Rouge, but we've got to hold, the end of the year is still the 25th anniversary, so I'll hold out hope for that one. But you will be missed, and I just wish we could have done this more together in the last couple of years.
Yeah, he's replaced this show with pickleball, which is odd, but I think in honor of that, as a final toast to Jamie, everybody should raise their pickles in the air.
I was thinking to raise their balls.
Well, first comes the pickle, then the ball.
And the ball.
Yeah.
Wow, this took a dark turn here somewhere.
Oh man, I don't even know what to say, buddy. It's so bittersweet, but like I totally get it. It's a commitment. It is like an extra thing, and there's only so many hours in the day, and you've already given so much time to us over the past, on this show, 12 years, 13 with Real Fans, and I can't believe that we have known each other that long, and then we've shared that much time and life and stories and laughs and everything in between. I'm just super grateful for this show specifically, and Real Fans by extension, but like really it's this show that have really brought us closer together. And I would have never guessed that when you were like, hey, you like that movie, you should join our movie group, that you would
Captain America, wasn't it?
Captain America the First Avenger, damn right.
Yeah.
Still the best Marvel movie. Sorry about it.
I agree.
But from that, you have become just a part of my family, and like the shows are great and the shows are fun, but what's more important is just like the connection that we have had as two people, as two humans. And yeah, I'm just so appreciative of you. You were the one that I called in when I decided to start the show, and you and I did the first episode together. Just a free flow conversation about why we love Batman. And then you have been a fixture of Holy BatCast ever since. And you haven't been on every episode, but man, you've been on 70% of them probably, right? I didn't do the math. I'm just guessing. But regardless, like you were there on day one, and now 500 episodes, you're still here, and freeing up time to do other things. And I get that, but thank you for, bringing yourself to this. And that's all you can do with a podcast, is just be who you are. And that's one thing I so respect and appreciate about you, is that you just are who you are. You're comfortable with that. You make no apologies for it. And it's like, hey, this is Jamie Drewley. Take it or leave it. And it's that genuineness that I think people really respond to and appreciate about you. We're not going to always agree, but you know what you like, you know what you don't. And it's all good, because that's who Jamie Drewley is. And through that, like, lovably curmudgeon personality, every single person who listens to this show or any show can see that heart of gold right through it. You might be grumpy, but we all know what a strong, beautiful heart you have. And that's
big teddy bear too.
Yeah.
When you really get to know him.
And that's the best part of all. So, I am grateful for all the time we spent together, and all the time we're still going to spend together. We're still going to chat. We're still going to get together in the Midwest when convenient. None of that's going to change. It's just going to be not on the mic, and that's okay. But yeah, I just want to take a moment to tell you how much I appreciate everything that you've given to the show, and even more so how much of yourself you've given to us. Because yeah, you've made us laugh, you've touched us, you've made us think, and you've done it in a way that only you, Jamie Drewley, can do. So I hope you feel appreciated, because I truly love you, my friend.
I love you too, man. Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Wow. Now I'm going to turn into like Adrian Brody with the Oscar speech here. Over the years,
and that damn cat is too.
that cat wants out of this room, but I'm not getting up to open the door. He'll be fine. Over the years, made a lot of friends with the Real Fans group, which, by the way, I think this month is the 15th anniversary of the Real Fans group on Facebook. I think.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's crazy that you and I have known each other for that long now, and Brendan not very far behind even. Over the years, I've made a lot of friends through that group. I've mentioned how I've tried to get away from social media, and it's not because there isn't good on social media. You know, guys, there's so much good and so much beauty in this world, and there, excuse me, are so many good people out there. No matter what these times may tell us by events that we see going on around us, the best thing I can say is when you focus on the negative, that's all you're going to see, and that's where I was going, and I just cannot do that with my life. That's that's not who I want to be. I want to be a better person. And to be a better person, I need to focus on better things: mental well being, physical well being, my family, my friends. You guys are some of my closest friends. That's not going to change. I have to turn my focus in other places. And I've met so many great people that I podcasted with and done meetups with over the years. You know, Roman Simmons, Leroy Mack, uh, Wes Davenport. I've never met in person, but God, this whole thing is because of Wes. I think it was his suggestion that we start doing a podcast.
Yep.
So that was kind of the birth of the Real Fans podcast. You mentioned to him that you were thinking about doing podcasts, and Wes said the suggestion of maybe doing a movie podcast, and you know the thing snowballed from there. And you know now we're where we're at now. I mean, I don't even remember how many shows are on the network and which ones are active and which ones aren't anymore. But it's crazy the amount of things that I think that we've accomplished as a group. You know, other names: Jeff Connell, Guy Milks, Tim Rooney. You know, these are all people that I've done a lot of podcasting with over the years. I've made great friends with. I've met a lot of these people in person, and I could not be more proud to say that most of these people that I have met in person, if not all of them, are the people that you hear talking on these podcasts. Man, I cannot stand people who aren't genuine, people who are fake, people who put up a persona and it turns out that they really aren't who you think they are. And I cannot think of a single person that I've met from this group of podcasting that we've done for 13 years now. I can't think of a single one I've met in person where I didn't think to myself, oh, goddamn, they're the exact person that I thought they would be. And I am so appreciative of all of you for that. Everybody I mentioned, anybody I forgot, I'm sorry. It's just emotions are kind of wrecking me right now. I've loved doing this. I still love doing this, but there are just times when you have to shift your focus in your life. You know, my daughters are basically out of the house now. They're a year and a half away from grad school, maybe 2.5 at worst case scenario, but I think a year and a half. At least one of them will be in grad school, which is crazy to me. My son will be out of high school in a year and a half. We're doing college campus tours with my son right now, and it's just so much hitting me at once with my family. And I just realized I have to focus on spending more time with them, more time with my wife, more time with my kids. And, you know, sometimes you just have to make sacrifices in your life. And this is unfortunately one of those sacrifices that I have to give up in order to be the best person that I can be. And the best advice I can give anybody out there that wants to hear it, or even if you don't want to hear it, screw it, you're going to hear it anyway. Be the best person you can be. Do whatever you have to get your mind in the best place it can be, to be the best human being you can be, to be kind to your neighbors, to your friends, to total strangers. It doesn't matter who they are. Just be good people. You know, it sounds corny to quote Jerry Springer, but be good to yourselves and to each other. I mean, that's the most I can ask out of anybody. And I think the world would be a better place if we all did that. And that's what I'm trying to do is be good to myself and be good to everybody else. And this is just one of those things that I have to do in order to accomplish that goal. And I'm going to get myself right physically, get myself right mentally, get myself right spiritually. And thank you so much to everybody that sent all those kind messages. Anybody out there that's listened to us for one episode or all 500, and Real Fans and Please Rewind and Disorder and all the other shows that this network has done, thank you so much for your support, and God bless you all. I appreciate every one of you.
All right. Here, let's wrap it up, Jamie, because that's enough feelings for the day.
Sure is.
But yeah, I know that everybody who listens to the show is sending you their best, sending you all the love, and I know you can feel it, and I think that's as it should be. So take a moment and don't be afraid to feel that appreciation, because unfortunately we don't feel enough of it these days, and I think that that's something really special.
And you know what? Most of all, thanks to the both of you. I love you both, truly. I consider you brothers more than friends. And we're still going to remain that way. This is me leaving this show and the other shows is not going to change that. And all I can say is, Andy, I look forward to the next time we meet and chat. And Brendan, I hope we meet sooner than later.
Yeah, I'm still 2032. If Nico keeps it up, I still reckon you'll be out here in Brisbane for 2032.
Fingers crossed, man. We'll see what happens.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, it's everyone agrees on Jamie's fantastic contributions to the show, but Holy BatCast is not going anywhere. We will be back before you know it, and there will always be space for Jamie. That door will always be open. That seat will always be available for whenever, something comes out and you go, oh my God, it's so good, I need to talk about it. You just let me know, and we will make it happen, whether it be a movie, a show, whatever. Just know that invitation is an open invitation, and I know that people would always be happy to have you return. But for now, enjoy that family time, man, because it's so damn special. But with that being said, let's wrap it up. Let's call it a night. Thank you, everybody out there, for joining us. We do appreciate you just as much for being a part of our family, for sharing your thoughts, your opinions, and it's great to have you as part of the Holy BatCast community. But thanks for joining us. Please do follow or subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. If you enjoy the show, a nice review would be awesome. A 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts would be much appreciated, and it does help us out. It doesn't cost a penny either. Just really quick and easy. Find the show on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Just search for Holy BatCast. If you've got something for the Wayne Manor mailbox for next time, you can send that to holybatcast@rf4rm.com. Our theme music was created by the talented Gaur Venkateswar. You can find his work at gvtunes.com. And that will do it for episode number 500. What a run, but onward. We're going to keep on going. So thank you so much for joining us on behalf of Brendan and myself, Andy, and especially Jamie. We'll see you next time. Same bat time, same bat channel.
And fuck bat hangers.
Perfect. Holy BatCast is not affiliated with Warner Brothers or DC Entertainment. The views and opinions shared by the participants are theirs and theirs alone and do not represent the companies or organizations they happen to work for.
I was going to say, well, Andy, we're going to be doing this till we're 90.
Till we're 90. Until we can get Henry and Harley to take it over.
Yep.
Come to think of it, Henry and Harley is not a bad name for a show.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, go ahead and trademark that right now.
Or a married couple.
Possibly that too. And we're rolling. And bad news. This is the middle of the day. Harley's at daycare, so no surprise cameo.
Oh, no.
Actually, I was joking. Well, not joking. I was saying to Jess last night when we were going to bed, I was like, oh, shit. I didn't tell Henry that I'm doing this. So when he wakes up, he'll probably just hear voices in my office and come in. So you might get a Henry cameo. I can't promise anything, though.
Well, light a candle and let him blow it out. That way I don't feel completely left out of the world when I'm signing off my final episode.
Well, you know what I can do is later tonight, I can light a candle and bait her. And she'll run in and I'll record the audio for you, and then I'll just throw it in at the end for you.
Perfect.
And I'll record a little Goodbye Uncle Jamie snippet for you.
Play some Candle in the Wind underneath it, baby.
Oh, I love it. Great. All right, here we go.
That's for you, Uncle Jamie.
Yay!